The Fan.
All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Dirt and Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1. The Fan, and what we like to call the Fan Sports Network.
180.
Red 85. Sad hot.
180. 180. 180. Blue 85. What's that? What's that? Yeah. 180. What's that? Hot. Turbo. What's that? Somebody jump on side.
Here we come. It's a man's game now.
Here we go.
Here we go indeed. Happy Friday, everybody.
What is happening?
How we doing?
We're doing fantastic. You guys finished up your pack of cigarettes after that game last night?
Which one?
Yeah, I needed 3 of them. Or which game? Yeah, I didn't know which pack you were talking about or which game you were talking about. What a night in sports last night.
I woke up at 3:21 a.m.
Bright and early.
because I did not watch the fourth quarter and overtime of our beloved Trailblazers.
Yeah, you got to catch up a little bit.
So I went back to my vision. I got Narnies, and I started being active, and I turned that on.
Oh, my God, that happened?
I was like, oh, my God, we're going to ram it. We're going to ram it.
We're going to do the ram thing. Don't
We
do the
didn't
ram
ram
thing. Well, we kind of did, and then we didn't.
Man, we didn't know.
And then the ref said, you're not going to ram it. We're going to give you this win. Thank you, Zebras.
Their own little 2-point conversion overturn.
Dude, I came in, and I'm like, I kept thinking about that foul they called on Russ, which I don't bust this out very often. If you're a real ball knower, that ain't a foul.
That ain't a foul.
No,
I'm not even a real ball knower, and I know that ain't a foul.
If you're a ball knower, you know that ain't a foul. Then that's how you know you're a ball knower.
Yeah.
Okay?
Oh, am I in the ball knower category
You
now?
are.
That I know that that's not a foul?
I'll put you in the ball knower category.
Hell yeah, dude. Happy
Squeeze them
Friday.
damn things. Make sure you got 2.
You got it. You got it, Ed.
I thought I'd come in and Swag would be like, oh, my God, that foul. The Ram game. And he goes, oh, I'm out of sorts.
I am.
What a night.
And
Then he sits down and tells me a 10-minute story about his day starting at 6 a.m. yesterday, which would have thought, oh, maybe he got a little dirt and spray.
Hey, listen to the show yesterday? Yeah,
No,
I would have loved to listen to the show yesterday.
No, he didn't get to.
No, what
No.
happened yesterday at 6 o'clock in the morning?
No. So I get up and check
In Eugene.
So I'm in Eugene.
You're
So
live
we're
in Eugene.
between.
You were looking live.
We were looking live. Just woke up, needed to go to the bathroom, trying to get some shut-eye because, the Big Ten Network put the men on at 8 o'clock.
Yes,
And
should be illegal.
so, yeah.
What time did that game end on Thursday?
Well, fortunately, it ended, unfortunately, it ended early because it was kind of a rout.
I guess we learned a lot about Oregon.
We did. We're back, baby.
Yeah.
I think we're going to the Sweet 16 this year, dude. Look out. we don't even have our Chinese sensation making an impact yet.
No.
Give him time.
No. But your boy Desdrick Lindsay,
Big fan of
who
his.
had made 3 threes in the 10 games leading up to that,
Definitely knew who that guy was.
just,
All right, back to the story.
Yeah,
so the
back to
game's
the
over
original
by
point.
11.
I have a text from my wife with a picture of a business card from the Washington County Sheriff's Office that has a QR code and a case number
Uh-oh.
and says...
Cop business cards have QR codes on them now. What do they link to?
I have it.
They're like Instagram
That's
profiles.
what they do now?
I guess
When there's a case,
everything
they
gets
give you
put
a-
online or whatever.
A card with a QR code?
QR code.
That's wild. They have that.
Case
That's
number
cool.
on it and a phone number for non-emergency dispatch.
You're
and
not
a note
tracking your
from
crime
my
like a
wife
package.
that says, "Hey, something bad happened, but I'm okay. Call me when you wake up."
Uh-oh.
I'm like, okay. This
Seems a little odd to text that and not phone call. Till you wake up.
Or especially not give like a few more details, like just,
Hey, I'm fine. Here's a cop note. Good morning.
this
I'll
happened.
see you later.
Call me when you wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I need to call and find out. And it was about just after 6 o'clock. I'm still a little bleary-eyed. I probably had, 4.5 hours of sleep. And so I call. She's in a car driving to Seattle, which was the plan. She got cast
On her way
in
to
some
Seattle.
commercial shoot that
Hey,
was going on up there
Lady
for
Swag.
some hospital thing. I don't know what was going on. Training videos, who knows what it was. And so she's like, I'm okay, but somebody, while I was loading the car this morning to leave while she pulled up right in front of our condo. She left the keys in and it was running. She went in to grab her purse and her bag and whatever she was taking up there. Came back out the front door and there was some object in an orange puffer parka in the driver's seat. So she was
she saw the perp.
Saw them. And then it's like, wait, what's going on? Oh my God, they're stealing my car. So she screamed and no. And then that guy took off. So she apparently starts chasing after it.
What time is this again that she's doing this?
3:30, 3:45 in the morning.
God, damn.
Oh my God.
And then there was another
You're not going to chase that car down.
Yeah, there was another car.
Why is that our instinct, by the way?
To try and chase after it?
I don't
As
know.
if they're going to stop it. You know what? You're right. I'm
She
so
said-
sorry about
she-
that.
I'd probably do the same thing, but it's not going
I
to
would
work.
too.
Hey! You start running
She
after
tells me she almost
sorry, I'm
reached,
gonna stop stealing your
almost
car now.
reached to the passenger side door to open on.
Oh, she almost got there in time.
Almost.
Well, then what is she doing?
Yeah.
Okay, that's not going to make things
I'd imagine
better.
that guy's carrying something.
Yeah,
Something.
if you're stealing a car at 3
Either
o'clock in
that
the
or
morning,
he's higher than anything and doesn't know what he's,
probably not a guy you want to mess
So
with.
thank goodness. Fortunately, she didn't have any of her stuff in, so she didn't have her purse. And there was
Okay.
nothing in there.
That's good.
So there was another car behind, kind of by our bank of buildings, with its lights off, and something out of Fast and Furious that had been low jacked and spoilers on it and whatever. So they
P-dubs.
clearly didn't know where they were going. So she chased after kind of around the corner, and they went down a side where it was like a dead end turnaround. She's like, "Where are they going?" I guess they then hopped over a grassy median to get back on the main drag and took off.
Damn.
There goes the car.
So
Too fast,
yeah.
too furious.
And I'm like, well, wait, whose car are you in and why are you still going to Seattle at this point? Look, I'm the ultimate show must go on guy.
Sure, you got to keep going, but
I understand that, but I'm like,
This was an odd response by you. I totally get what she's doing.
Well, she's got to shoot. She's
What
getting
do,
a
what do you
commercial.
what do you want her to do there?
that one would have thrown me at that point. I was like,
I think you would have showed up.
If that happens to you and you're on your way in to do the show, do you still find a way to come in and do the show?
You would come in and do the show, and you would tell the story about how you just had your car stolen in a parking lot, and you're driving like your mother-in-law's car. You would be here.
well,
Do you would you even have the ability to get here if somebody stole your
see,
car?
that's the thing. She said it took 45 minutes for, to call her parents and wake them up and see, make sure
Can
and
somebody-
for them to get there.
So now he knows who to call if his car gets stolen.
Hey, call her
So, yeah.
parents. They'll come pick you up at 5
So
o'clock in the
anyway,
morning.
So yeah, so then she's like, I'll deal with the insurance, but the house key was on the key ring to the car.
Oh.
And so I'm like, okay, we need to get a locksmith. And
Now you got to change your locks.
So I'm calling a locksmith. Now I'm awake 6:45, 7 a.m. I got to be over to the arena at 9 to pre-tape the coach's interview for the 11 a.m. for the damn 6-7 elementary kid frickin' game. That happened to, by the way.
I know it did. It is happening in every game.
God, that's annoying.
Side note, Tulsa women's basketball was up 22 points with 12 seconds left.
Uh-huh.
It was 65-43. They purposely ran a play to score with 3 seconds left to go up, 24?
Yes.
Just so they could call timeout.
Get the kids entertained.
And everybody run off the bench and
Oh,
do
it
the
worked
hand
out
thing.
perfect for the Duck women because Mia Jacobs got fouled going to the hoop for an and one. So the free throw, so everything was stopped, and the free throw made
6-7.
The whole arena knows it's about to
and
happen.
2,000 elementary kids were losing their ass.
You
And
say-
then Kelly Graves calls a timeout.
Say what you want about our era. We had some stupid things.
This is dumb.
But we
This
never had anything that took over
like this.
like
no.
games. Like
No.
games are stopping so they can do the hand thing and go
Yeah.
crazy.
Is this happening in men's games too, or mostly women's games? Because I
It's-
feel like I've mostly seen it in women's games.
It's whenever there's like children games.
okay when kids are
This
in
was their
attendance.
field
Yeah.
trip day,
Yeah.
so nobody went to elementary school in Eugene yesterday.
So your
They
locks are changed. The car is stolen.
were. So yeah,
It's been reported. She's going to
I'm
Seattle.
still in Eugene, and then after the game, I got to go find a charging station for my car and have some lunch. So I'm not getting home. So then we get a call in the middle of the night last night at 10:30. Some officer, a Portland police officer in North Portland, hey, we've found your car.
Dirty Mike and the boys got it.
Unfortunately, it's totaled.
Yep, they got it.
Somewhere out on North Columbia.
Oh, my God.
We towed it to this lot.
Yeah.
So you can let your insurance company know. So I had to bring her in this morning. She came into her office down on the South Waterfront by our old building. So she's dealing with that. So
Things
we
are
have
going
one
great.
car until tomorrow.
So you were able to watch some sports despite all
So
of
I
this?
got home. Yeah, I finally got home. Obviously, I was listening. Fortunately, I was listening to the game and the start of it, but I got home right about the start of the second quarter,
Jeez, man.
waiting for her to come home.
Unbelievable.
So, yeah. I apologize if things are a little rocky here on the board today for you.
That
but-
same thing happened to a buddy of mine where his wife was, I think she was getting everything ready to go to work, and she ran outside, got the car started, wanted it to warm up. I think it was a cold morning,
Something
and
like
the
that,
car's
yeah.
running in front of the house. She ran back in to grab a couple of things, came back out, car's gone. Just disappeared. And it was some meth head that stole it, and it was like 2 days later or
Yeah.
a day later. I can't remember how
I'm
long
actually
it took.
surprised.
Thing was totaled.
Because when she told me there was another dude in another car behind, like I'm thinking, okay, this is an operation, and there is some salvage yard somewhere in Hillsboro.
That has to be the
and
instincts.
This thing's gonna get chopped
Yes.
up. We're never seeing that car again. So the fact
Got a
that
Cadillac converter in that thing.
they found it, and sounds like, so now my guess is dudes were higher than kites on joyrides.
But like,
or
were they just
whatever.
driving around waiting for
I have no idea.
somebody in their car to get out and leave the car running?
Is
Like,
that
what
the
are the
whole
odds?
scheme?
Of
Yeah,
that?
they were. I don't know if
At
they've been
3 a.m.?
casing our particular con.
But it's not like your wife's leaving at 3 o'clock in the morning. That was a
No,
random
no.
opportunity. Like if you're
Yeah.
casing my house, you see what time I leave every day. You know what time I'm
Yeah.
going out the door. But that's a one-off. She's not out
No
the door
idea.
every day at
Just-
3
I'm
a.m.
Just glad one she was okay. She didn't try to
Yes.
get in the car or jump on the hood.
She
or
did try to
some-
get in the car, but it was too fast.
Exactly.
She's lucky she didn't. get in
Thankfully, the
car.
guy pulled away too soon, so
Yes.
she couldn't get into the car.
Exactly, yeah.
'Cause that would not have ended well.
Right.
That's when
right.
the story takes
So
another turn.
She's very curious though. Like she's more concerned about if they found the perps and how they found the
They're
car.
not finding those perps.
You're not finding those guys.
So yeah.
Is there security cameras at your condo complex?
No,
not good.
not all over.
What's it going to show? A
It's-
guy in an
it's-
orange
Well, I didn't know if you
jacket?
could catch
black.
the other license plate of the other
That was
car
my
that was
thing. The
with
only
them.
thing they could have caught was the other car's license
Yeah,
plate.
and then you could
Other
track
than
that person
it's
down
all
and try and
dark.
figure it
Everybody's
out.
got big coats and hoods
I'll say
on.
this without knowing. It feels like, and I'm not saying this is a criticism.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me get out in the front end.
Uh-oh.
It kind of feels like these kinds of crimes are for more or less punted on. Like, oh,
That sounds about right.
yeah, well, we'll make an effort here. And then it's always ending with, hey, your car's been totaled into a fence
Nothing else we could do.
30 minutes from where the car was stolen.
Call your insurance. They totaled the car. Get some cash back. Go buy a new car.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing.
yeah.
At least this will speed up the claims process because I don't know if it's just stolen. I don't know if that's
How
a
long?
wait.
Yeah.
Like, no, it's gone. How long do you have to wait before you can actually start processing stuff? And
That's a good point.
so,
Well, I just got hit this past summer in a parking lot and just fixing the car that still
fixing the
worked.
car is worse.
Oh, it is? 'Cause I was to tell you, that was a nightmare.
Yeah.
I just got my
because
last check
you're,
like a
you're
week
subject
ago.
to the body shop or whatever, and then they go back and forth haggling over.
It was
"Well,
ridiculous."
It shouldn't cost that much. And the
Right.
body shop's like, no, we're doing the parts. And
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. I had to
And
take
you're-
it to 2 body shops.
And you're, yeah.
Go get another quote.
At least
That's too
now-
expensive.
Yeah, no, the cop's like, no, it's
what?
it's totaled. We towed it here.
Mm,
Here's the give that to your insurance agent. They'll
boy.
yeah.
Happy
What a-
Friday.
Happy
So it's
Friday.
been quite a 24 hours.
What kind of car you going to go buy?
She wants the same kind of car.
Get the same car. Yeah.
So we got to figure out.
I mean, but if it's getting paid for, you might as well do some test drive.
well, we hope it.
Well, see what that insurance money's going
Yeah, man, get that check.
Maybe a little
Well,
Get
there's
them
still
on.
there's still a car loan that has to be settled in the mix too. So it's not like we owned it outright at that point. So yeah.
So a good poll question would be, who had a worse night, Swag, Sean McVay, or Doug Christie?
Yeah, that's a good poll question. Anybody else we could throw in there? Anybody else have a brutal night last night? I mean, those are pretty bad nights right there.
My deck.
Your deck had a rough night last
My
night.
deck was taking a pounding in that wind and rain, dude. My daughter thought she heard thunder 8 different times. Like, nope, that's just stuff getting slammed all over our deck right now.
That's just something falling down again. Just Travis Barker out there playing the drums.
Good
Don't worry
Lord.
I
about
kept
it.
hearing flood warnings. Is
Oh.
Johnson Creek like?
Our broadcast, so I'm driving home yesterday, I was listening to the firm,
Harrison Meringue.
and the radio literally interrupted
Oh, it
and went to
interrupted the
the
Seahawks game, too.
emergency broadcast, and
Yeah.
it was like, that. Which, by the way, it's 2025. Why are we still recording these as if somebody's recording on an old phone
Yeah, I know.
through a walkie-talkie?
Warning for Multnomah County and Clackamas County.
Flooding and the river supposed to rise 25 feet. Be safe out there. Good day.
It'll end after the tone.
And then it's just right back into their hot takes, and I'm like, all right, cool. We got a massive flood.
Ducks are going to
happening.
lose to James Madison. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pump the brakes, buddy. We're worried about the flood here, all right? Don't throw a hot
His
take at me
take
right
was
now.
actually he's not going to watch any of Bears Packers.
Who? Harris or Meringue?
I'm assuming you were just mimicking Meringue.
Sure, that was a bit of a Meringue mimic right there.
So I assume that, yeah.
He's not going to watch any Bears Packers. He's
He's-
going to watch all Oregon JMU.
He's protesting the NFL being played on Saturday, so he's not going to watch Bears Packers. He's going to instead stay on just JMU Oregon. Anyway, that's a take, dude. That's a hell of a take.
There is a number where you will give up. There is a number where everybody will give up.
How do you not have Bears Packers on an iPad?
You telling me?
Yeah, that's
Because
why
I
we have
think,
multiple screens.
What are we doing?
What are we doing?
I mean, you just dual screen it. If you have
Yeah.
YouTube TV, you can watch both games at the same time.
Come
on. Because the Oregon game starts at 4:30, right?
4:30, yeah.
What time's the Bear Packer game start?
5
o'clock?
5:30?
Let me see.
Let's go.
5:20. So
Yeah,
that's probably more
5:30.
like 5:30.
5:30.
So you're already an hour into the game. So you're probably
Second quarter.
6 minutes to go in the first half.
Yeah,
Don't tell me you're not at least checking the Bears Packers.
How
at
are you not
halftime.
watching
If
Bears
it's
Packers?
halftime and it's 38-0, and then you flip over and see the score and it's 17-17 with 8 minutes to go
It's
in the fourth
cocky
quarter,
sniffing dirt all day Friday, isn't it?
you're changing the channel to watch the rest of the
It's
NFL
like
game.
we're in 2025. We all know how to watch two games at one time.
Yes.
And the NFL's done this forever.
Yeah.
This is on college football for not operating around them. You could have your games all on Wednesday and Friday if you want. You know what they're doing the next round of the playoffs? You know what days their games are?
Thursday and Friday.
Thursday and Friday. So
They
they don't
could've-
have to go head-to-head with the NFL.
They could have played last Friday.
Yes.
Had a game or two after the Army-Navy game.
Yes, you can easily work around this.
And then you have, then you're in your next week and you figured out what the NFL's doing to avoid it.
This is always the first Saturday the NFL plays two games. They will always do this. They're not changing that.
Nope.
This is the way that their schedule works. They are the king. You work around them. I love college football. It's my favorite sport. I acknowledge they are the king.
Well,
Happy Friday, everybody.
boy, you
Yeah.
put us way over the
Yeah,
clock.
I'm sorry.
Whoa.
Like I said, that
was a long segment.
I'm
I-
trying to. I'm
you know
trying
what?
to get it back together.
I get it. You're going through a lot. I actually do feel bad for you guys going through this. But because of this much over, you are not allowed to mention the clock until 9:42.
9:42.
You are
Hey.
banned from clocks.
Banned from clock management.
There's no hey.
No.
I will be better.
You're out of timeouts. You're in the 2-minute drill the rest of the show, okay?
You've taken me 6 minutes over. That's a 2-hour ban. All right? 2-hour
Go
ban.
sit in the penalty box. Think about your actions.
And then try to find your car.
God, that's brutal. That's a horrible thing to wake up
All right,
to.
well, we got a loaded show. Let's get it going. Dirt and Sprague on a fast break, a football, a loaded Friday edition, 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan.
All right, welcome back in. You can always count on Sundays with the NFL on CBS and Paramount Plus. Stream your local NFL game every Sunday. ParamountPlus.com/NFL to get started. One of those weird Football Friday, playoffs are here. We got a playoff game tonight. One of those weird Friday shows where I wrapped up what I was watching last night, wanted to get some sleep, woke up this morning, wrapped up what happened at the end of the night, and I'm sitting here going like, now I have like too many things to lead the show with.
Yeah, now what's the biggest story?
You know what I mean? Like the Blazers and everything they almost did and probably should have done, but got handed the dub. And then like the Rams, my God,
that was the best game of the NFL season. That thing was absolutely insane.
I strongly disagree with that.
Oh, what's the best game of the NFL season?
It's still Bills Ravens.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Ravens non-playoff team.
I mean, not yet.
I got two 11-win teams right here, baby. I got maybe
Yeah.
the two best teams in the NFC at the end of the year with the division and the number one seed on the line.
So if you're
blowing a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter,
the Ravens literally did that.
I know.
Also,
Week one.
Did the Bills tie the game on the dumbest of 2-point conversions we've ever seen?
No, they did not.
I think that takes
You're
it down
knocking
a
it down
slight
a notch.
notch.
Huh?
Yeah.
The Ravens take it down a notch for me, and it was week one. I think knowing what was on the line last night.
The conversation. Look, what's on the line is not important, but we're talking strictly game.
Then why isn't the Bears and the Bears and the Bengals the best game of the NFL season?
That was a great game. It's in the running.
It's in the running.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to argue against you.
Yeah,
Penn State, Indiana might have been the best college football game of the season.
That was a good game. I got to have something on the line. Week one, that game was incredible. It was awesome. So was Bears and Bengals. But this was number one seed, NFC Championship, first round bye. If the Rams win last night, basically all of that is locked up. Now it's opened the door entirely. And to blow the lead that they did the way that they did it, and then the game to go to overtime, it's the first time we've ever had a game-winning 2-point conversion in overtime in a regular season game. Mm-hmm. The game end that way.
It was a great game.
The Seahawks were 0-172 all-time, trailing by 15 points in the fourth quarter, I think. That was the first time they've ever won a game that way. The Rams became the first team, I believe, in NFL history to have insert all of the numbers that they had and then lose a game. All-timer for me. Best game of the year.
All-timer?
All-timer. That game was insane.
It was a great game.
I will remember that game 5 years from now. I will. I don't know if I'll remember 5 years from now Bills and Ravens because it was week one of the season.
It was Lamar and Josh Allen.
It's a great game. I've seen that a million times. They played a lot of really good games. To me, week one of the season and week 15 or whatever week we're in, 16.
So I can look up how many times Josh Allen and Lamar have actually played against each other because I don't think it's quite a million.
Not quite a million. They played multiple times in the playoffs against each other.
Do you remember all the Mahomes and Allen games?
I do. The playoff games, I don't remember a lot of the regular season games, but I remember the
seconds.
Yeah, I remember 13 seconds. I remember the AFC title game last year. I remember those two.
That was a great ending.
We'll do that as a poll question. What was the better game, Bills, Ravens, or Rams, Seahawks?
Well, I think you put Rams, Eagles in it.
Yeah, Rams, Eagles is another really good game.
That was a devastating game to lose.
Yeah.
Boy, the Rams really know how to shoot themselves in their own foot, don't they?
They did. They do.
God, unbelievable.
They might still end up with the number one seed despite all of it if things play out weird ways in the final 3 weeks of the year.
I know legality-wise, like, that's a backwards pass, but also bizarre.
It's really bizarre.
It's something that I'd like to see change in the rules. I don't like the idea of replay being used for that.
It just was weird. It was like, why is this not moved on now? And then
everybody gives up on the play.
Everybody.
Whistles blow, and I know that the whistles are irrelevant, but it's just to allow a 2-point conversion on a play where everybody believes it's an incomplete pass, and you blow the whistles, and the play is over.
Yeah.
And Charbonnet just, harmlessly picks up the football.
For Kirk to act like Charbonnet is making some next-level third-eye move by picking the ball up was an insane broadcaster take.
Yeah.
He literally picked the ball up for the ref.
Look at the effort. Look at the effort from Charbonnet here. Never giving up on the play.
He is standing almost straight up, barely leaning over, grabbing the football. And Herbstreit's like, and what a credit to Charbonnet on grabbing that ball. What? We thought it was incomplete.
That whole broadcast was terrible. I've been arguing this all year.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
It's
it needs
awful.
to end.
Al
It's
Michaels
so bad.
is asleep the entire game.
The Shaheed punt return was amazing. And Al Michaels, after he crosses the pylon, drops the ball and walks away, is like, and Shaheed scores. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, they might cut it to a one-possession game here.
And they got a 2-point conversion coming up here. This is a pretty big play all of a sudden.
Can
Al,
you care at all?
why don't you eat a vegetable and wake up, all right? I got a big Thursday night football game on right now.
And then they just like fat shame each other at halftime. Oh, now you can go eat your steak. Well, now you can go eat your junior mints. What are you guys doing right now?
Broadcast is terrible.
It's such a bad broadcast.
There are so many people out there that could do a better job than what those two are doing. And Thursday Night Football, there's been a lot of duds, I feel like, on Thursday Night Football this year. What would enhance it a little bit is having a
See, I think there's
play-by-play
been
guy.
more.
There's been stupid stuff happening on
There's
Thursday.
been more
Sure.
drunk, weird stuff
Yeah.
than this season of Thursday than there's been in the past.
That was really drunk last
But I think
night.
it's highlighted. Bad broadcasters are highlighted more when you have a game like that. That's not like Panthers. And last Thursday night was Atlanta and Tampa. That was a good game.
But drunk.
It was drunk. I'm not saying
Right.
it wasn't a good game. I'm saying Atlanta winning that game means literally nothing. Tampa takes a hit in the division. Atlanta's season is done. It's Kirk Cousins. Maybe it's a swan song. Like there was so much on the line last night. That was a massive game. That's what we talked about it all week. That's what we talked about it all day on the show. That was two teams fighting for the 1 seed, the division title, like everything on the line last night in Seattle. And you had a broadcaster who was asleep for the entire game.
Texans Bills, week 12. I forgot about that game.
Yeah.
God, I love going through these. These Thursday games are kind
the
of
Thursday
stupid.
games. There've been more. Just wait, what?
Olsen and Harlan.
I'd take it in a heartbeat.
Oh my God.
It'd be better than Michaels and Herb Street.
I mean, I think almost anything at this point is better than Herb Street and Michaels.
Yeah.
Supposedly he wants to come back and
Oh my God.
do another
You're
season.
You got to
81
stop
years
it.
old,
Go
man.
call the Olympics and hang them up, man. Go
Don't
play
even
golf.
call the Olympics. Let them just AI your
AI.
whole entire life. You've just been okay with that. Then go record, go to the golf course, eat your steak. I mean, God bless you. I love you. You are one of my favorite people to ever exist in media.
One of the all-time greats.
But, dude, like, there's so many highlights you can go see of that game last night. We were all in our living rooms watching this, whether we like any of those teams or not. You're just like, you had more enthusiasm on that play than the main broadcaster.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not normal. And for an all-timer game, that was not a great way to call it.
Let's dive in a little bit more on this one. We were against it in the first segment, so we're playing catch up a little bit here on the old clock. How did that happen to the Rams? And what is the takeaway from the Seahawk perspective? We'll get to that coming up next, but first, Swag with the Sports Update.
This is Dirt and Sprague. First round week of the college football playoff is brought to you by Video Only. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the series of events that unfolded at Lumen Field after the Seahawks trailed the Rams 30-14 in the fourth quarter simply defy logic. It did result in a 38-37 overtime win. Seattle converted 3 two-point conversions along the way. They take over first place in the NFC West and control their own destiny for the number 1 seed in the conference. Trailblazers nearly blew an 18-point second-half lead to the Kings, but they got bailed out on a foul in the final 2 seconds of overtime that gave Denny Avdia 2 free throws to win at 134-133. Avdia finished with 35 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists. The 5th-seeded Oregon Ducks begin what they hope is a month-long run in the college football playoffs Saturday afternoon at Autzen Stadium, hosting 12th-seeded James Madison. 4:30 kickoff right here on the Fan. Our live pregame coverage from Eugene begins at noon. Oregon a 21-point favorite. The first-round games begin this evening. Oklahoma hosting Alabama in the 8-9 game. Sooners won the regular season meeting, forcing 3 Bama turnovers. Kickoff 5 p.m. on 910 ESPN Portland. Our pregame coverage starts at 4:30. Oklahoma currently a 1-point favorite. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of primetime. FM, 1080 AM. The Fan.
That's how you call a good moment.
That's it right there.
How does he differentiate between doing a catfish and a cow there after the holy?
Holy catfish!
I don't know. That's pretty much just how. I had fraternity brothers who have season tickets. I sent you one of the videos.
Yeah, they went shirtless.
Oh,
Tarps
yeah.
were off, baby.
Tarps were off, man.
Maybe
People
he had
left
already.
that game.
They did. Yeah, everybody was killing him, and they're booing Darnold off the field. Maybe he had already dropped a holy catfish earlier.
I think
Maybe-
he does it
yeah.
multiple games,
Yeah,
multiple times. in a
Maybe the
game.
Shaheed punt return was the holy
The
catfish.
Cooper Cup catch,
The
toe
cup,
drag
yeah.
in
Man,
overtime.
That could have been the
That was a
holy
holy
catfish.
catfish,
There's
yeah.
a lot of catfish moments last night.
Yeah, the fans were interesting.
They were.
And I'm not going to put all the fans in a box here. The ones that did leave early, the ones who booed. I did love that they booed on 3rd and 16, and then he picked it up, and it was like, boo.
Oh, the run, the draw.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Darnold threw a pick with 9:48 left. 9:48. It was
Yeah.
30-14.
Yep.
Yeah,
And by 6:23 on the game clock,
we were tied.
we were tied.
Unbelievable. Just unbelievable. I'm not going to criticize any of the fans for the reactions to it because look, I'm not a fan of either team. I did gamble on the Rams, which, hey, 1.5, you take it, right? Give me all the points,
I
I'll
couldn't
take
remember
it.
the spread and which
Plus
way you
1.5,
went with that.
baby.
I thought you were a 1.5
When
point
they scored
favorite.
the touchdown, no, the Rams were the underdog going into the game.
I believe you. I just couldn't remember in the moment, like, oh, which side did he have?
When they scored the touchdown in overtime, I'm like, there's the bet. I won the bet. They're either going to win the game by 1, lose the game by 1. There's no way if Seattle scores, they're going to kick the PAT because
Right.
there's not enough time left, likely, and the Rams would just go kick a field goal, or we end in a tie and I win. So no matter what was going to happen and transpire, I was going to win. But I'm also not going to criticize Seahawk fan because watching the game at home, even rooting for the Rams because I gambled on them,
That game was over.
we all said the same thing watching the game. Like, we were all making fun of Sam Darnold for playing terribly.
Yep.
When he threw the pick in the red zone, what did our entire group chat feed say?
Good night,
oughta do it.
Seahawks.
See you later. What's the score of the Blazer game? We also, I'm not going to come in here today and be like, how'd you leave early? Why'd you criticize Darnold? I literally texted, felt great gambling against Sam Darnold in a big game because he
Yeah.
kept throwing picks, and it felt like that we all knew how the game was going to transpire, and then Shaheed returned the punt, and everything changed from there on out.
Here is Mike McDonald on the decision to go for 2 in overtime and go for the win.
Well, it's something we had talked about really throughout the season, and then really particularly for this game because of the playoff situation. You play for the tie and lock up a playoff seed. But I just felt great about our play, and I trusted our guys. And to Clint's credit too, he was really confident, and then the players ultimately make it happen. So once we got that drive going, it was pretty clear on what we were going to do.
Here is Sean McVay on that loss to the Seahawks.
Great game. I love our football team. This one's a tough one right there. Never seen anything like some of the things that occurred, but you know what? You give them credit. Great back and forth battle, but I'm excited about how we're going to move forward as a football team. Love this group, and we'll respond like we always do.
Yeah, they get Atlanta and Arizona. They'll respond, and they'll win out. It's interesting. Yeah. We can play the scenarios and the result of what happens last night, but just sticking in the game because – we can argue over how we measure what game is better than the other game. At the end of the day, that is a great football game. And I care greatly about the result because, well, as you mentioned, there's playoff implications here. Mm-hmm. One, the collapse by the Rams, I think there's room for a lot of opinions on this game. It's okay to say Seahawks fought like hell and they really earned it at the end there. You can also say, and it be accurate, that's an incredibly bad choke job by the Rams. Mm-hmm. To dominate the Seahawks the way they did on defense and to move the ball and score on that Seahawk defense the way they did, and for all of that to just be collapsing, it's unbelievable, a choke job, but also the Shaheed punt return, as you mentioned, it flipped everything. It was like in the instant you went, this game's, wait a minute, and then they're going for 2, and then there's the weird conversion, and you're like, this is a one-possession game, and I text you guys. I'm like, how is this game a one-possession game? This has been utter domination by L.A. all game. And I think you brought up an interesting point before the show of, yeah, you're celebrating today if you're a Seahawks fan. You feel great. You're in the driver's seat of the 1 seed in the NFC.
Yeah.
Also, we all watched that game. I don't know if you walk away feeling amazing about your quarterback.
No, because that was the biggest question, I think, going in for them was, how is Darnold going to play in a big game? Now, to his credit, late in the game when they started to get that ball rolling downhill, I thought he made some tremendous throws. I thought the one to Cup with the toe drag along the sideline was a great throw. Like, he settled in seemingly after the punt return and didn't do anything really stupid. Now, they weren't perfect offensively. They had one driver. I think they went 3 and out.
They went 3 and out. He got
back-to-back
sacked,
screens. He took a sack. Like, they had some clunky offensive possessions even after that punt return had happened. But that seemingly settled him down and the rest of the team down. The only thing that I'll contend with, look, whenever you get a blown lead to that level, it's always equal parts collapse, equal parts, oh my God, that was an impressive comeback.
Agreed.
It's never one or the other, very rarely, unless it's like Oregon TCU. But the one thing that I will say about Seattle is I didn't feel like the game was as wide. What's the right way to say this? I didn't feel like the Rams had dominated the way that maybe the scoreboard indicated when the score was 30-14. Because that was a game that in the first half was back and forth. I thought Seattle's defense was outstanding, getting stops and holding them to field goals. You had the opening drive of the game, they get a stop on 4th down. Then the second drive, they drive all the way down there. You hold them to a field goal, so it's 7-3. Mm-hmm. Then you go hold them to another field goal, it's 7-6. Like, at the time that he threw the pick, Darnold did, that then set up the 1-yard touchdown to Corum, that's a 16-14 game late in the third quarter. So it's like that to me is a game, that pick that he threw should have swayed the game for the Rams because all of a sudden you're up by 2 scores and you punch it in from the 1-yard line and you're up by 9 points, and they should have been able to hold on to that. But I didn't feel like the game was this wide margin or dominated one way or the other.
Oh, really?
The Rams' offense was moving the ball much better than Seattle's. There's no doubt about it. But also, yards don't beat you, points beat you. And at the time of the interception, it's a 16-14 game. And if he doesn't throw that pick, do they end up kicking a field goal there? Like, I felt like it was a little bit tighter than maybe the score indicated.
That's interesting.
They also had the fumble from Cup in the 20-yard line going into score at the end of the half.
A field goal out
right,
of that.
but their second score of the game is a 55-yard run. Right? How many times in a game do you
that's
get a
an outlier. They didn't run the
run?
ball well last night.
See,
at all.
I disagree with that. I actually felt like the Rams were dominating, and you give Seahawks credit for holding them to field goals, but you're lucky it's field goals because at that point, that's 14 points right there. I thought they were moving the ball exceptionally
It could have been a wider
well.
margin, but it wasn't because they couldn't finish a drive.
So here's the best way I'd equate how I felt about the game, right? Until the collapse and the Seahawks ended up winning it in overtime. And so I'm curious how you felt about the feel of the game. It felt very Oregon, Indiana. I did not feel like that score was indicating to me the game I was watching. But the score was the score, to your point, because yards don't score and don't win you games. But I just felt like you could see the difference.
The Rams look like the
teams.
better team. I won't disagree with you there. My only contention is that if Kupp doesn't fumble at the end of the half and they score a touchdown, they had a chance to go into the locker room up 14-13.
Yeah, and if a guy doesn't run 1 yard past where he's supposed to run, the Rams get a touchdown, and that's not a field goal.
Yeah, I totally get
it.
So
I think we're arguing margins here. I just felt like the Rams were dominating that game.
Yeah, and then they collapsed.
Yeah, they did collapse.
I would say the Rams were controlling that game. I don't know that they dominated it. It was just the Seahawks were
But minus the Walker run, their offense was doing nothing. That's my only contention. What were they doing?
I mean, they scored on their opening drive. That wasn't the long touchdown run. That was in the second half. So they scored on their opening drive of the game. They had a good opening script, and then they went, to your point, back-to-back 3-and-outs. And the Rams really dominated because of how long their drives went.
They were running the ball.
They were running the ball.
Right.
I mean, you look at their drives. Opening drive, 10 plays, 32 yards, burned 5 minutes.
Right.
Second drive, 12 plays, 71 yards, 5.5 minutes. 8 plays, 78 yards. And then 11 plays, 62
what was
yards.
Fine? Let me look up the final possession here.
I'd imagine, and then the Rams had their opportunities to burn the clock when they needed to.
It was
late.
40-26.
Yeah. And it should have been worse than that. If they could have picked up a first down after the second Darnold interception and not kick it back 90 seconds later, the game is essentially over.
And again, I don't want I'm giving the Seahawks the credit here, but like if we're being honest, we do in a way you have to judge a game by time of possession. Time of possession's massive. It's massively
they
important.
Controlled it. I don't know that I would have said they were.
14-minute time possession difference is a pretty big difference.
Yeah, I disagree with the phrasing of dominated. That's all I'm saying. I didn't disagree with the fact that the Rams were the better team the entire game until they needed to be the better team and then they peed down their leg late. I think to the larger point, if you're a Seahawk fan, it's the duality of oh my God, that was incredible.
What fight, what
Oh,
amazing
wow.
will. Right.
Insane. Defense, by the way, who was just getting shredded the entire game, all of a sudden came up 3 and out, like right when they needed to.
It was 3 and outs, a missed field goal, and something else.
They were
right?
dominant, and then they gave up the touchdown in overtime, but
Right.
ultimately it didn't matter for them. But I think the issue that I would have if I'm a Seahawk fan is I don't know if my biggest concern was answered.
Yeah, I think that's a fair thing to be asking.
That's
today.
the concern that I would have.
Yeah.
Because, again, I thought he made great throws late. I thought when he needed to and the team kind of rallied around him, Darnold made some nice plays. I hated that the Rams didn't pressure on the 2-point conversion. I can't stand when teams do that. They only rushed 3. He had all day to just stand
on the
there,
game-winning 2-point?
On the game-winning 2-point conversion, they leak a little tight end across, and
They
it's
were
an easy
really
throw.
concerned with JSN. You could
Dude.
tell the way their coverage was. It was like, oh, don't let
What
JSN
do we know
get
that
it.
Sam Darnold struggles with? He struggles when he's pressured. I would have rushed 10 guys and left one guy in coverage and just pray that he's going to throw the ball into the dirt or take a sack or not see it coming. But you're in that weird spot where I don't know how I feel about him come playoff time.
Very
because
fair.
for 3 quarters of that game, the Boo Birds were not out of pocket.
That's maybe I'll say this. Maybe dominate is the wrong word, but that's partially why I felt like that. The fans themselves was telling you how they felt their team was playing.
Yeah, he missed was a cup along the sideline
He
on
had
that
some
third down
awful
throw,
throws
and you're
in
just
that
like,
game.
oh, what was that?
Yeah,
bro?
I mean, he had some nice throws.
He
I'm not
almost
taking it
overthrew
away, but-
Barner on the first
Yes.
touchdown.
That's a better catch than throw.
Yeah.
So
by far.
Yeah, I think to your point, I'm waking up going like, what a win. Look at us. What a year.
Yeah.
Also, oh God.
Do I trust him in the playoffs?
I think if you gave him truth serum, they'd say no.
No, and he has the ability to go prove everybody wrong because
Yeah.
you know
They
your
can win the 1
history.
seed.
Your history does not dictate what your future will be.
100%.
But they wanted to see him have a big game, and he had big moments late, but it wasn't pretty the entire time.
All right, we're back with a little bit more on this. We'll get to some college football. We got a playoff game tonight. Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan.
All right, we'll start diving into some college football. We have a playoff game tonight, Dirtman.
We do. I can't wait. It's going to be a fun one.
Looking forward to
The
it.
ramifications. Does Kalen DeBoer get ran out of town?
Oh.
And this is my side of the bracket.
This is
It's a future peekaboo. It may
is.
be,
Yeah.
if Oregon can handle business, an opponent down the road.
Some are calling it the Michigan Bowl game.
It very well could. The winner go the spoils. So they say for Kalen DeBoer.
Poll question: if Kalen DeBoer and Bama lose tonight, will he be Michigan's coach by Monday?
They will have an offer on his desk tomorrow morning. I can tell you that much.
They'll offer it to him. Will he be the Michigan? Will we come in Monday for our Monday show? Monday is our last show for the holiday.
That'd be
okay?
wild if that happened by Monday.
Will we be dedicating maybe 30 minutes to the fact that Alabama's head coach chose to leave the Crimson Tide for Michigan? Would you say yes or no on that?
I'm still going to say no, but it is a very low confidence no.
All right.
I'm still leaning. It's Alabama.
I know.
You're the head coach at Alabama.
I know, man.
With 2 4-loss seasons.
Didn't we say when he went to Washington that is the best job in college?
Yeah,
That's
we said, hey, you got to understand it. It's
now he's
Alabama.
gonna leave.
I know. Real quick, finally, you guys know this, but I want to run through it anyway. So the Seahawks control the destiny.
Yes.
So in this scenario, Swag did ask me this, right? Basically, Seahawks went out, they're the 1 seed.
Yep.
Niners went out, they're the 1 seed.
They're the only two teams who control their own destiny now. The Niners were just
Seahawks-
sitting at home watching that last night like, hey, all right.
Seahawks and Niners both stubbed their toes before that final one. The Rams are the 1 seed.
Yes, they are.
If the Rams and the Seahawks don't win the division, let's say the Niners, for example, win out.
Yeah.
Swag did ask who gets the tiebreak between those two teams, to which I looked it up, and right now, if everybody wins out except the Seahawks in the final game,
Because in that scenario, they would have
the
to lose.
Seahawks would be the 6th seed, taking on the Eagles. The Rams would be the 5. They get the Bucks or Panthers. And then the Niners would play the winner of the 7-2 if there's an upset,
Yeah.
or the 4-5.
And the 7-2, that might be Detroit playing in that game. That might be Green Bay playing in that game.
Well, I guess, Swag, wouldn't there be a condition where if the Seahawks beat Philly and Philly, the Niners could play the Seahawks? Because don't they reseed the lowest to the
I
highest?
believe it's reseeded.
So it could
So
be
they're the
7 of
6th seed
6.
and
So
they
the
beat
1
the 3.
seed
Yeah.
will play the lowest remaining seed.
So it could be the
after wild
Seahawks.
card
It could be a
games.
rematch in just a couple weeks. So
All I know is
all
I'm
of that
picking
is on the
whoever
table.
these teams are to beat. If they are the 5 seed, to beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or Carolina Panthers in the first playoff game. I don't care who the 5 seed is. I'm picking
we're
them to win that
sprigging the
game.
line out of that
Well, I
game.
don't care
Come
what
on.
that line
What
is.
do we
We're
do?
gambling on that game.
We'll fill out our college football playoff bracket. Did you
Oh,
come in with
are we
brackets?
doing
Yeah,
that?
but Swag's got to print them out. He's got access to. I forgot I don't have a printer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Swag will print out the brackets. He's out of sorts today. His car got stolen.
Yeah.
Wife's car got stolen.
Well,
Our car got
R.
stolen.
There you go. That's the word you're looking for.
drug money, brother. Drug money.
Is it a scheme? Is this an insurance scheme?
Don't
Clearly-
say that on the radio.
I'm just kidding.
Just kidding.
It's not
I
an
can't believe he
insurance
did that to
scheme.
you. You'd think I would do that to you.
That's
He
something
did
that
it
you
to
would say.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Loaded second hour. Let's pivot into some college football. Hour number 2, Dirt and Sprague 105.1 The Fan.
The Fan and Odyssey Sports Station. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, despite trailing by 16 in the fourth quarter, having committed 3 turnovers, the Seattle Seahawks found a way to get the Rams into overtime. And then, after the Rams scored a touchdown, the Seahawks responded, converted a third 2-point conversion, and they take over first place in the NFC West, control their own destiny for the number 1 seed in the conference, 38-37, the final. Trailblazers needed overtime as well against the Kings, despite having an 18-point lead in the second half. They got a favorable whistle on the final play, giving Denny Avdia 2 free throws with a second and a half to go. 134-133, the Blazers beat the Kings. 5th-seeded Oregon Ducks will get their shot at a playoff victory Saturday afternoon, hosting 12th-seeded James Madison. Set for a 4:30 kick from Autzen Stadium. We'll have it right here on The Fan with our live pregame coverage from Eugene beginning at noon. Oregon a 21-point favorite. The first-round game is tonight. Oklahoma hosting Alabama. It's the 8-9 game. Sooners winning in the regular season by forcing 3 Bama turnovers. 5 o'clock kick. We'll have it on 910 ESPN Portland with pregame coverage starting at 4:30. The Sooners a 1-point favorite. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Sports Saturday.
Doesn't need more complicated than that.
On the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM, 1080 AM. The Fan.
All right, welcome back in the second hour of the radio program here. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. That would be 1080 AM, 105.1 FM, the Odyssey app, or YouTube. Good morning.
What is up?
Hope everybody's doing all right here on a Friday, a festive Friday. We have one more show before the holiday. It'll be Monday, and then we'll be off for Christmas. So we're looking forward to this weekend's festivities in college football. A lot of NFL games with implications as well. We had a great Thursday night football game. And basically the whole first hour was swag stolen car news. And what a great Thursday game we had, minus Al Michaels and Kirk Herbstreit.
What a doozy that one was. What a doozy.
I want to remind you guys that the Ducks and the Dukes are on the Fan this Saturday. Pre-game coverage starts at noon.
What?
With Ducks Game Day, brought to you by Coors Light, and wraps up with the Dick Hanna Dealerships post-game scoreboard following the game. I'm stuck in a conundrum, guys.
I think it's really sexy.
A lot of playoff action starting tonight.
Yes.
Bama at Oklahoma.
A lot on the calendar.
We're filling out our brackets here. I honestly is torn between Oklahoma and Bama because everybody feels like they're picking Bama, and I feel like they have a Venables problem, and we're just kind of overlooking it.
He is 0-2 against Brent Venables in Oklahoma in his time at Alabama.
Like, and Oklahoma's offense sucks, and they still win the game.
They do.
We're supposed to Christmas shop this week, and it was kind of my idea to throw that out to the wife of like, hey, it's the last weekend before the holiday.
Yeah,
and then she starts going through the schedule. My little has a basketball game at noon. I don't want to miss A&M Miami.
No.
Oregon's at 4:30.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm willing to DVR or maybe keep looking at my phone down at Ole Miss and Tulane.
Yeah, that's a curious one. That's one. It's like,
They've already blown them out.
yes.
They've already played. They've already blown them out. I think the only question is there's no head coach there. So that did you see Summerall joke, by the way?
They have a coach.
Ole Miss or Tulane?
Yeah.
Ole Miss is hiring Pete Golding. Golding.
Yeah, he's official.
He's their guy.
Summerall's still coaching.
He's still
Tulane
coaching
for now.
He said he invited Lane Kiffin into their coach's box, but he hasn't accepted the invite yet, which is just
great troll.
phenomenal.
Fantastic.
Phenomenal job. The soon-to-be Florida head coach. I don't think you need to pay attention to that game.
Well, I will, but like that's my window.
Yeah.
but I don't think I'll be able to get all my shopping done in the window. And I don't want to be late to Oregon JMU, even though I know what I think the result's going to be.
Sure. Also, the NFL game early in the day tomorrow is Eagles and Commanders. So maybe the Eagles are funky.
I'm not worried about that game at all.
Should not be a concern.
All of my scheduling was about college football early.
Okay.
The late one is Oregon, JMU, Bears, Packers.
Of all the games this weekend, I will want, without a doubt, unless it's the craziest, most chaotic game that's ever been seen in the college football playoff, the game we will all watch the least is Ole Miss Tulane.
Probably.
It's a rematch. Nobody's buying Ole Miss as a team that can make a run without a head coach. That is the most, and for some people around the country, maybe Oregon JMU is that game, and I wouldn't blame you at all. Probably should be, but obviously our interests are a little bit different, mine in particular. But if you miss, I'm going to be doing the pregame show while that game's on, and I'll have it on the iPad.
But you're not going to really care about it. You just check it out every 4 minutes with traffic and weather updates.
Exactly. When Russ is telling me that it's not raining, I'll look down and be like, look at that, Ole Miss scored again.
Coming up next, we're going to dive into enemy territory. Hey, welcome back in.
Hey, we're here.
A 10-second break from that segment to the next segment.
Sometimes I got to smoke a dart in a break, all right? Give me a little moment here.
I don't think you're smoking a dart. I think you're taking a rip. Your segment times are interesting.
But the Doritos.
I'm looking forward to the pregame coverage here on The Fan with the new head football coach of West Lynn football.
That's right.
Anthony Newman, Dirt, and Dusty. And then we'll obviously have the game, and then the Dick Hanna dealership postgame show will go on as well. College football playoff starts tonight, gentlemen.
We are here. We've made it.
Oklahoma, Alabama.
Can't wait.
Did they get the right game for Friday night?
I don't think that they did. I would have preferred Miami A&M to be Friday night because I want Kyle Field at night. I just think that's
that was a big criticism that they got the early. Everybody understands why they got the early window because of the NFL, but like people want Kyle Field.
You want it to be full throat,
if
you will. And I just think it's the more, not saying it'll necessarily be the better game. I don't really have a strong feel on either of the two interesting games of the opening round. I mean, we'll fill out our brackets and make our picks. I think Alabama's a significantly better team than Oklahoma, but to your point, they've lost to them twice in a row.
Dominated
despite outplaying them earlier this year in Tuscaloosa. And then Miami A&M, like A&M is a little fraudulent because of their schedule. Miami's been beaten up on bad ACC teams. Do we trust Carson Beck in this moment? I don't really have a strong feel on either one, but I think because it's not a rematch, that's the most interesting game of the weekend. Also, all of our debate around the playoff was centered on who making it or not making it. It was about Miami. Can they or won't they, or should Notre Dame get in? Like that was the whole debate. And so I think Friday night kicking off with A&M Miami would have been a tad more interesting to me, but doesn't change the fact I'm very excited for both of those games.
Programming note, joining the big gay Santa Bear, Jason Zucanic, today at 4 o'clock is the man who doesn't believe in Christmas lights on his house, Dan Lanning.
Yeah.
Will indeed talk to Jason Zucanic today.
I'm crossing my fingers that we got a question in there about Christmas lights. I don't know if we did, but
I don't think there is a question there. He's just like, yeah, I don't have them, right? And then he'll move on because he won't care about that question.
I'll be curious what kind of mood he's in, because sometimes on game weeks he's in I'm not answering anything, and then sometimes he's in more of a male filter kind of mood, and he'll go on tangents about random things. We'll see what kind of mood the coach is in.
Yeah,
today.
but how many times before a playoff game has Dan Lanning talked to a big gay Santa Bear?
Not very often.
So I'm looking forward to the conversation. Sook will have him live at 4 o'clock today here on the home of the Oregon Ducks. I know Oregon is going to be a big part of our show today. I also think every Duck fan in my life, outside of this show, has been pretty honest about it. You're always a little nervous because it's a playoff game, but
if you lose, your season is over, and it's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is embarrassing, but it's JMU, and so it's like, yeah, even if they don't play in their cleanest game, they should run away with it.
This is more about feeling confident going into Texas Tech than anything. Is it clunky? Is it like, wait, why is,
But you're going to allow, like, let me ask you this, and this can go to every Duck fan out there.
Sure.
I think Oregon is going to win this game. I think Oregon is going to cover the spread, even if they're not actively trying to obliterate JMU. But if they have like a first quarter clunky 7-0 vibe, are you guys going to allow some grace of like, it is an extended time off here? And
you get grace in the first quarter, then the grace is done. We've said grace. Let's eat the meal, okay? Amen. Play football.
Blessing.
We've said the blessing. Your time is over. You're playing James Madison. Get your gear in act, all right?
All right.
Kick it into gear. Damn it, Dan.
Now, mid-second quarter, 7-3.
Grace is done. Grace is done, and we're yelling at the TV. We're angry.
Fire Dan Lanning.
Damn it, Dan! You can't win the big one!
Why is this turkey so dry?
Christmas vacation turkey. You don't want that in the second quarter. Yeah, that's the worst of feelings. Okay, so there's going to be a little grace allotted, but for the most part, we all kind of agree on Oregon.
I mean, look, I think you're looking at one of the most lopsided in terms of talent comparison playoff games that we'll probably ever see.
Yeah, I tend to agree
just
with that.
Oregon is a very good team. Are they good enough to win the national championship? I don't know, but they're well-rounded. They're getting healthy at the right time. DeCorian Moore posted on Instagram yesterday that he's back, which I'm sure Dan Lanning was like, "Damn it, dude!" But that's what he's going to do. He's a kid and he wants to announce it. So all signs are pointing to Gary Bryant and DeCorian Moore playing tomorrow night. So you're back healthy at wide receiver. You've had 2 weeks off to get all the bumps and bruises healed up from your offensive line. Sadiq's been dealing with stuff essentially all season long. And so, yeah, I mean, you have the advantage literally at there's not a single advantage that James Madison has over you.
No, not a one.
Unless you come out and dropping punts and, just throwing picks and doing stupid stuff the entire game, or they got 38 trick plays that you've never seen before. This is the kind of game because the talent gap that should be over at halftime if Oregon comes out and takes care of business. And I do think that's a point of pride for Lanning. I mean, he's never won a playoff game, and he's not going to get a lot of credit for winning this one. I don't blame anybody
But think
for that.
about the first half last year in the playoff, right?
It was 34-0. There's a lot of guys on this team that were on that team, and
Mm-hmm.
Sadiq talked about that this week of we still have that taste in our mouth of how that felt. And so I tend to believe this will be an Oregon team that comes out. There might be a little rust there. To your point, you've been off for a couple weeks and you're used to playing week in and week out. But by the time you kick that off after a couple of drives into the game, this should not be a contest.
I'm expecting there to be a lot of concentration and focus on that first drive and starting the game, that you're all in as if you were playing the fourth quarter of the championship game after everything that's gone on. And I think he knows if they deliver an uppercut in the first quarter, then it's on.
Well, the other part of this game, too, if you actually want to talk about it from a football nuts and bolts standpoint, JMU's the 100th ranked passing offense in the country.
I don't have a lot of football stuff.
Well, I'm just saying, to Swag's point,
if
if you're up 14-0 in the first quarter, the game is over because they're not going to be able to throw their way back into the game.
Trust, your cornerbacks can handle their receivers.
One-on-one, you take away the quarterback run game, which they just did a great job of against a more athletic and better quarterback in Damon Williams.
I expect Betcher and Thieneman to be playing near the box and downhill the entire game.
The CCU unit should be ready to go this weekend. I don't think it's going to match the score. I'm expecting an Oklahoma State-like start.
Yeah, I tend to agree with you. That's the vibe I have on the game.
We're not messing around today. We need to get serious. We need to focus. We need to handle our business against a lesser opponent.
Yeah, get ready to go for Texas Tech.
They will, and then a lot of guys are playing in the second half that wouldn't normally play in a game like that.
They've followed the scout and ready the game plan. They have it scripted out. 100 dudes could play in this game for the Ducks if they did.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing you're curious to see is just the biggest question going forward is how healthy are those wide receivers? How do they look? And are you healthy coming out of the game? So that's the main thing that I have circled on this one tomorrow is just – is DeCorian Moore back looking like he was looking early in the year and making some big plays, and then all of a sudden you say, damn, now you're loaded at that position, and you're going to be good. How many snaps? What's the rotation look like?
Seeing Stewart would be pretty good.
Seeing Evan Stewart would be awesome, and all of a sudden it's okay.
What's his chemistry like with Moore?
Right.
He hasn't played with him.
He hasn't played in the Big Ten title game last year, so they never played in a game. I mean, maybe garbage time last year. I can't remember. Gabriel, I think, missed one series
maybe in a garbage time possession, but largely hasn't played with him.
So those are the kind of things that you're looking to settle and figure out tomorrow night at odds.
We have a lot to get to in the second hour. We'll talk with the voice of the JMU Dukes coming up at 8:30 today, Dave Riggert, right? He'll join us at 8:30 for the Daily Ticker. We'll Sprague the line today. The fan text line's 503-864-6326. That's where you can reach the program. Let's get off and rolling in some of the other playoff games. Will we have a new head coach because of the decision or the end result of what happens tonight at a new university? And I do want to talk about that game because I've kind of been with dirt on I don't know exactly how to feel, and I'm picking a team to win because it feels like more people are picking the other team, and that's kind of the only reason. But we could talk about that as well. We'll get to that second hour. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1, The Fan.
1080 AM, The Fan.
All right, we'll Sprague the line today at 9:30, so get those Sprague and Line sponsors in at 503-864-6326. Got some big NFL matchups this weekend starting on Saturday. Well, you can technically say it started yesterday with a great Seahawks and Rams game. We talked a lot about that in the first hour of the program. And then we'll dive a little bit into the NFL slate. I don't know if we'll get to much Blazer, to be honest with you. I watched 5 fans in the 6th row with 3.5 minutes to go in overtime when the Blazers were only up 3, just get up and leave. Like, they grabbed their coats, their purses, they left.
They are the only takeaway from the game last night is they need to send a gift basket to the officiating crew for handing them that win.
Mark Davis.
That's one of the worst calls I've ever seen in my entire life watching basketball.
Mark Davis needs to be investigated today. And
have you ever seen a foul call after the horn? Like, the horn went off.
By almost
the red
2 seconds.
light was
By
done.
almost 2 seconds.
The Kings were celebrating on the court.
I watched the replay 8 times this morning. I hit rewind. The light goes off. The Kings put their arms up. The bench comes out, and then Mark Davis just puts his arm up.
Like, what? How?
What happened there?
How? You got to make your free throws. That's the other lesson you learn the hard way. I mean,
No,
not today. Not today. They don't deserve
That's
it.
the rare win-loss situation.
What was it, a 15-point lead with 2 minutes to go or what? I mean,
they were up 18 in the fourth quarter. 18.
Ouch.
And also, Shaden didn't play a second of overtime. Does anybody want to talk about that? We're playing C.D. Sissoko. Donovan Clingan can't hit a free throw to save his life, but we can't play Shaden Sharp.
Yeah.
In overtime? Isn't that the most, big game?
He was having a good game last night, too, until the free throws.
Yeah. He actually didn't score a lot in the fourth, but he made a lot of really good plays.
He did. He's on a nice little run here over the last couple of games of this month.
So that's that rare, they beat the Kings, but it didn't feel like they beat the Kings, but they beat the Kings.
I mean, that counts as a win, but we're not going to give it to you. That's a no-count season.
Let's do this. Let's get into A&M Miami. I was going to do Bama first because they play tonight. I'll get to that coming up next, but
go for it.
A&M Miami is interesting to me. You look over the numbers, you try to comp resumes.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you kind of just comping conferences.
It's hard to do.
And you can certainly say Miami's more big game tested than A&M because of the schedules and the way that they shook out. But I counter with this. In filling out the brackets, I don't know where you guys went. I'm taking A&M, and I'm going to tell you why. 1, home game.
Yep.
It's out of the state of Florida. And 2, I'm actually leaning the coach here. I think the better coach is on the A&M sideline. We talked about Cristobal earlier this week about, hey, is he a good coach? And we both agree that he is, just to what certain extent, I don't know.
Right.
I think Elko's a better coach than Cristobal, and I think if you have a really good coach, you can out-coach him.
Yeah.
So I might end up making a mistake here because A&M survived a few games they shouldn't have, but I'm taking A&M, and I'm taking them because I'm resting more on Elko than I am Cristobal.
It's interesting you bring up the big game thing because I'd actually disagree with you a little bit, although we're splitting hairs.
That's
the
fine.
Biggest game for each team, ironically, is against the same team. They both beat Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So that was both of their biggest games of the year. I would say it felt like Miami played big games at times this year, and then in hindsight, you're like,
that's fine. That's
like
totally
Florida,
fair.
Florida State. Some of those early in the year felt like big games. A&M down the stretch. You had that game at Texas, which was a big one. Now they didn't look good in the game, so maybe you don't feel good about them in that moment. The LSU game felt like that was still LSU that was playing for something, and they went in and hung 49 on them. I don't disagree with the theory of picking A&M. I'm having a really hard time with both of these games because I think both these teams are really good. I think it comes down to one simple thing: which one is going to be able to run the football more effectively? Between A&M and Alabama and Oklahoma is different because Alabama can't run the football at all. We'll get to that game, but in A&M and Miami specifically,
right,
that's kind of a strength versus a strength. I want to say Miami has one of, if not the best rushing defense in the country. They've been very good in that category.
They're 7th in their conference in rushing offense this year.
Who, Miami was?
Miami.
Yeah, and A&M on the other side has been very good defensively at times, and so it's just that to me is a big key. Now, you also add in the fact that Marcel Reed is mobile and Carson Beck isn't mobile, right? And so Reed should be able to add a little bit of the +1 in the run game. The concern I would have for A&M is one of the biggest strengths going into this game for them should be home field advantage. And I know those people are psychotic down there. I get it. They're going to sing hymns all night tonight and wake up probably at 2 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. But being at 9 a.m., I do think you get a different stadium at 9 a.m. at Kyle Field than you would have a 5 p.m. local kickoff. And so it's still going to be tough for Miami to go in and play there. It's still going to be difficult to go on the road and win in that environment. But I do think it's like a 83% of what the environment could be.
Oh.
And that's a benefit to Miami just slightly going into the game, where if that was a night game, I would feel much more differently about the impact that the crowd might have on that game.
Miami's rush defense just in conference play was number 1 in the ACC. A&M's is 9th in the SEC. When you talk about rushing offense, Miami was 7th.
Yeah.
A&M was, hold on, I just had it here and I forgot to write it down, 2nd in the SEC.
Yeah, they got a couple of backs that can get you. Owens is a stud, and Marcel Reed is massive. Now, the caveat to all that with Reed is that I think similarly to some of the other defenses we've talked about, Oregon is kind of a category in this category. Miami has been very good against mobile quarterbacks this year. They have not allowed any of the mobile quarterbacks that they played, and they played a handful of them to really take off and kind of beat them with their legs.
Who's the best one they've faced?
I would say probably, looking back, there's Castellanos, I know, is a guy who was mobile, and we talked about them differently when that game happened. I'd have to go back and look.
Because I just wonder, I'm not saying
they played somebody to the level of Reed.
That's
no
what
doubt
I'm
about
saying
that.
is I wonder how they'll do when they face a Marcel Reed.
Yeah.
Again, a lot of this is going to come up to just when you have tight games like tonight. I think tonight's a good example of this too. Like at the end of the day, when you're operating on the thinnest of margins, it's going to be your players have to perform, right? Jimmy's and Joe's, but what is the coach advantage? Which coach finds the slight advantage that the players are going to be able to execute? Like, I think if Oregon can get past JMU and go to Tech, that's the big part to me. It's Lanning McGuire, Bama, and Oklahoma tonight. It's going to be potentially Cignetti versus Venables or Cignetti against a Kalen DeBoer if they're to win, right? Like, I do think when you get to this level with these caliber of teams, we can look at their stats all day till we're blue in the face. Oh, Miami was this in the ACC and A&M was this in the SEC. It's just going to come down to which coaching staff is going to schematically put their team in a better position.
Yeah.
And it's a really tough game to pick. It's not a super confident pick by me. And the only pushback I would say on everything you said is the home field. I totally agree that the night game is a little more exciting on paper, but also Josh Pate told us about a culty tradition they have every night before a game.
Yeah, they're on a golf course.
I think they'll find a way
Watching something
to
burn.
wake up and just that place is going to be
it's going to be electric.
electric.
There's no doubt about it.
And so I don't worry about the home field losing any of its energy or whatever. It's a tough game to pick, Miami A&M, and I can just see Beck throwing a pick and Concepcion taking like a touchdown to the house, and I don't know. There's just something about this matchup. I just lean a little A&M and Elko.
The other one that I would add on the mobile quarterback front too, Kevin Jennings at SMU is a really good athlete, and they held him. I don't think
that's a good one.
He didn't have a run longer than 5 yards in the game.
That's
now,
a great one.
He lit him up through the air, so I don't feel good about that game, and they lost the game. But to the point of just being able to stop mobile quarterbacks, I think you hit on the other being able to run the football against Miami for A&M will be massive.
I think the two best receivers, by the way, A&M in the SEC.
They do. They're both great, and they just announced one of them's the highest paid wide receiver in Texas A&M school history, which I thought that's an interesting way we're announcing these now. I don't know how I feel about A&M's passing game, and that's why I know the receivers are great. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But I also go back to I think Texas had a really good defense this year. And you look at times when they were able to bottle up the run game, what that passing game looked like. Now, you could point to a Notre Dame game early in the season and say, well, look at the play they made at the end of the game, and it won them, the third or fourth down goal, whatever it was, it scored the touchdown late. Marcel Reed is a very dynamic quarterback. But Miami's strength is stopping the run. And if they can find a way to bottle that up and get Bain after the quarterback in third and long situations, I kind of lean advantage Miami's defense there. If they're winning on first and second down running the ball, then it's going to be advantage A&M the other way. But I think the other thing that I'll circle and keep an eye on, similar to what we talked about going into the game last night, it's Carson Beck. Does Carson Beck throw 3 picks in this game? Like, Carson Beck's been really dumb in big games at times in his career. He's had a lot of clunkers. Now, he didn't early in the season for them. The Notre Dame game, remember, they had the one-hand catch. Like, he played really well in that game. But he's also a guy. You go back to the SMU game.
You get pressure on him, he tends to buckle a little
One
bit.
of the reasons they lost SMU was why? Because Carson Beck threw 2 massive interceptions. And so him not turning the football over is the other big key. I'm going to pick Miami to win the game.
Oh, you go Miami?
I'm going to go Miami to win the game. Very low confidence pick. To your point, I got no strong feel one way or the other. To me, there's a little bit of the chip on the shoulder of you weren't in, now you are in, then you shouldn't be in, and Notre Dame should be in, and that's dumb, it's cliche, but there's a little bit of there for me.
But let me ask you this finally, also, what does it do to the narrative if Miami goes into A&M and wins? Hey, look at the ACC, the dog crap ACC, and, they shouldn't have been in, huh? And also the Notre Dame A&M game's a good poll. I remember watching that game, and I was just like, talk about a great football game. That was a great football game.
It was 41-40, I think.
A lot of improvising, broken play, Reed scrambling, fading to the sideline, Notre Dame pressuring him, throwing it up, and there's a completion for 20 yards. And you're like,
wow.
Amazing, but also not something
reliable.
you draw up. Yeah, hard to rely on that. And so I think that's the wild card that you point out here.
He should be healthy, by the way. Remember, he got hurt against Texas, left the game, looked like, at the moment, it was like, is that a Dennis Dixon? Is his knee done? And then he came back in the game. I don't know if there's a lingering effect there. I have no clue, but that's just another thing to keep an eye on.
Are we picking either of these teams to beat Ohio State, though?
I am not picking either of these teams to beat Ohio State.
No.
I think it's going to be a terrific game, though. I think we had a nothing but blowouts last year, essentially, and I think there's going to be 2 blowouts this weekend. I think the other 2 games are going to treat us with dandies, and I think this one will be a good game.
We'll wait and see on tonight, but to me, I think this is the one that gives us the closest game.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at this. But to your point on Bama, Oklahoma, which we could talk about, those games have been really weird. The one they played this season was odd. Pick 6, no offense from Oklahoma.
None at all.
3 turnovers, absolute offensive domination by the Tide, but a win by the Sooners. A bizarre game. Let's talk about that. Will Kalen DeBoer lose and be the Michigan coach? You put a poll question up on that. We'll get to it next. But first, Swag with the Sports Update.
This is Dirt and Sprague. First round week of the college football playoff is brought to you by Video Only. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan. It was a mystifying series of events that unfolded at Lumen Field in the fourth quarter when the Seahawks trailed the Rams 30-14. That allowed them to come back and win it 38-37 in overtime. It included converting 3 two-point conversions, and one of those came after a video review. But Seattle is now in first place in the NFC West and control their own destiny for the number 1 seed in the conference. Trailblazers almost blew an 18-point second-half lead to the Kings, but they get bailed out with a foul in the final 2 seconds of overtime. Denny Avdia hit 2 game-winning free throws, 134-133. The final Avdia finishing with 35 points, 5 boards, 5 assists. 5th-seeded Oregon Ducks get to start what they hope is a month-long run in the college football playoff Saturday afternoon at Autzen Stadium as they host 12th-seeded James Madison. Kickoff at 4:30. We'll have it for you here on The Fan with our live pregame coverage from Eugene beginning at noon. Oregon 21-point favorites. The first round kicks off tonight. In Norman, Oklahoma hosts Alabama in the 8-9 game. Sooners won the regular season meeting by forcing 3 Bama turnovers. 5 o'clock kick. You'll hear it on 910 ESPN Portland. Our pregame coverage starts at 4:30. Oklahoma a 1-point favorite. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the first. a.m. The Fan.
All right, welcome back in. 7:37 on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Happy Friday, everybody. Finally stopped raining. Thank God.
And it was dry on the way in today. That felt good.
God, man.
Is that going to last for the weekend, or is it just a intermission before
What do you
think?
What a stupid
What
question.
do you think?
Wake up.
Come on, Swigart.
Wake
I know your
up.
car got stolen, but damn it, focus.
Jeez, man.
It's definitely going to rain. It'll probably rain today. I think we got showers. Tomorrow, rain in the morning. Here's your weather report. You're going to hear these all day tomorrow for every 8 minutes.
Traffic and
Jeff Russ.
weather every 60 seconds.
I'm keyed into it. I should just do it myself because I'm glued into the weather. I think it's supposed to rain early in the day and then kind of partly cloudy, chilly the rest of the day. Will I wear enough layers to stay warm tomorrow night? That's the biggest question.
I feel like between sentences, you guys say, Anthony, what do you think of Oregon's rush defense against this offensive running attack by JMU? But first, Rust with traffic and weather.
We'll hold that after the break.
Andy, I like it. What do you think? But first, Rust with traffic and weather.
You got to do one at a time, too. And what's I-5 looking like, man? Could be a meat
Where
grinder.
them Smokies at?
Yeah, I got
Here's what I will say for people going down to the game tomorrow is that I don't know if it will be quite comparable, but I remember a Civil War, Jonathan Smith's last Civil War, ironically. It was a Friday game, and it was like the start of holiday shopping season, and getting to Woodburn and past Woodburn took legitimately like 2 hours for people because it was just chaotic and everybody's part. So I don't know where the shopping season will be tomorrow going down I-5, but I imagine it might be a little bit of a
4:30, so I would
chaotic.
imagine people, it'll be
It's too big a
stretched
window
out.
to make it a problem.
You don't think it'll be a problem?
Nah.
My only thing is that when are people mainly going down? If you're going down,
Yeah.
probably
Early.
but not like 4 o'clock in the morning
No,
early.
no.
But right when kind of stores are opening up.
But
That's
if you
all I'm
leave
saying.
at 8, and it takes you 2 hours to get there, you're there at 10.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, that's
Totally
plenty of
good,
time.
yeah.
But I think more people will likely leave at 9, 10, 11-ish to get down there with a 4:30 kick. And I'm just warning you now. Don't worry. We'll have your traffic and weather right here on the Fan.
We might have a college football coach who just walked away basically say, I'm not done.
Yeah, it's been a weird one.
And we'll get to that.
Yeah, you guys gave me credit for announcing his retirement, and I was like, I don't know if he retired.
Well, he pretty much made it clear that he's not.
He
So
kind of did, but he didn't, but he might, but he won't. I don't
talk
know.
about that today. We got the NFL to talk about. We talked about A&M and Miami. Let's talk about tonight's game.
Yeah.
And this might carry over because we're already close to against it. Bama at Oklahoma, the 8-9 matchup. I wrote Alabama, and I did not write that with any level of confidence. In fact, if anybody takes Oklahoma, I'm probably applauding you for just doing what probably should be done.
I just saw a tweet during the break that the most bet on side by the public this weekend is the Alabama Crimson Tide.
What's the spread on that game?
1.5.
I mean, what
I'm
are we
looking at
doing?
Oklahoma -1.
Yeah, 1.5. Bama's a slight favorite or a slight underdog.
Okay, and everybody's just look. I wrote Bama too, so I'm in the masses. Don't be an ass, but
It's a rock and a hard place game. It's because by almost every metric, Alabama's the better team.
they should win this game by double digits, and yet they cannot win this
They
game.
can't. They can't.
He locks that offense up.
And Oklahoma's offense is outside of the top 60 in literally every category. You can pick and choose which one you want.
It's so
They're
bad.
90th in yards per game. They're outside the top 60 in passing yards per game. They don't score a lot of points. Their offense is terrible. It's not good, and it hasn't been good for the vast majority of the season. Even in their bigger wins that you go back and look at, like they beat Michigan early in the year, wasn't like their offense had a lot to do with it. Mateer hasn't quite been the same guy since the thumb injury, so maybe that changes, and he's had a little extra time to heal up here over the last couple of weeks. It's just weird because I have a team who, by every metric, is the better team. But that team is 0-2 against this coach head-to-head. They just can't quite figure him out over the last 2 years. And it's also like, I think, a question of how much do you believe in trends. We were talking about this during the break with A&M. A&M's a team who was not playing very good football at the end of the year. They were down by 30 points in their own stadium to South Carolina. That's not good. They got smoked by Texas.
Did you see that follow-up, by the way?
No.
The player filed a harassment claim.
Oh, Harbor?
No, the running back.
Oh, the other one,
that
okay.
was with him. He filed a complaint against the police officer, and the police department and the university police refused to give the name of the officer.
Wow.
And he's basically like, it's really like bothered me that happened. I want an apology from this guy. I want his name, and they refuse to give it to him.
How can nobody figure it out watching on TV who that guy is? There's got to be somebody in Texas who knows who that guy is. Somebody's got to recognize that face. Name names.
It's America, man.
You would think the first and simplest thing you should could do there is just apologize. Just, hey, my bad.
We'll
I
see about
apologize.
it.
We'll see, because
Jesus.
if they don't cooperate, I imagine there'll be a big old lawsuit against
I'd file charges
the
if I were him.
university
Yeah, if you're not going to cooperate,
and
all
the
I'm asking
police
for is an
department.
apology, and now you're not even willing to acknowledge who he is.
Yeah.
I'll sue your ass. I don't care. But they weren't a team that was playing great late in the year. And what has Alabama been?
Yeah, I just
Alabama,
looked it up.
They've been a trending down team.
Yeah.
They were not good in the Iron Bowl. They were not good. LSU, even that win was ugly. The SEC championship game, they got killed. So they've been going in the wrong direction. But I just have a really hard time trusting Oklahoma's offense, man.
Yeah, but Alabama had 406 total yards to 212 when they played.
Do first downs.
They had 326 to 138 in passing.
Yeah.
They had 80 to 74 rush advantage.
Yeah, Alabama did not rush anybody all year. It's one of the
No.
worst rushing offenses in the history of Alabama football.
They had 23 to 12 first down advantage.
Yep.
And the game was lost. And they had a 34 to 25 time of possession advantage.
They dominated every category other than the scoreboard and turnovers.
And they, you know what? 7 of the 23 Oklahoma points, pick 6.
Yeah.
So, like, it does indicate Bama should go into this thing and somehow feel good about itself.
As long as they don't beat themselves, but...
And here's what I'm curious about, because I heard you guys coming back in from the break talking about the A&M end-of-season play and Bama, and I totally get it. I also would respond, how many weeks ago did these teams play?
What week was that?
Bama played 2 weeks ago, and Miami played 3, right?
Bama played 2 weeks ago in the SEC title game, in Oklahoma was 3 weeks ago.
I have a hard time personally. We talked about this with Oregon, Ohio State last year of like, man, that is a lot of time off.
Right.
And then we would go into either picking Oregon to win or saying, oh, Ohio State in a close one, 34-0 at halftime. And
Yeah.
I'm not saying that is the example. My point is, I'm not sure, and maybe we will see, that the time off from when they last played means that's the team that we're going to see in these playoffs. I don't know if that's the A&M team we see or if that's the Alabama team we see.
Could come out totally different tonight.
Because when you have multiple weeks off, it's hard to simulate the games, and so it's just a different nature of the beast when you start actually playing these things.
No doubt about it. It's a great point because you just don't know after a long layoff. Jam Miller, their top running back, who, by the way, not playing great at the end of the year, him being out was part of it. He's back in the game tonight. They're outside. They're losing one of their offensive linemen who is still out, so they're down a little shorthanded up front. But Alabama at the end of the year was incredibly banged up, and so they've now had 2 weeks to get healthy. Does that help them in this game? I'm picking Alabama to win it, but similar to the Miami pick, I'm questioning why am I taking both road teams in tough environments. That's probably stupid. And a very low confidence pick. But I have such a hard time seeing Oklahoma winning a game the same way that it happened last time.
What about the time before that? Because it was dominant too. 24-3.
It was. They killed them. They smoked them. It wasn't even. They shut down the offense completely.
I know, but that
was the thing of last time. They didn't shut them down. They moved the ball basically at will the entire game. They just would shoot themselves in the foot.
Right.
And so, does that happen again? Do I get that turnover performance from Alabama? If it does, then you just say, "What the hell, man? This is like some weird voodoo magic," and they got your number. If they don't turn the football over, Alabama will win the game tonight.
The fallout of Alabama not winning the football game tonight.
They'll handle it well. You know people down there.
Let's talk about that a little bit next on The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up?
Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomservices.com.
Yeah. You know, I don't know, Jason. Anything that I say, I'm going to get fined up here. So I got a lot to say, so I probably shouldn't say nothing.
Bad news, Dirt.
Don't worry, Doug Christie. I'll say it for you. I'm rooting for the Blazers to win every basketball game they play. They should not have won that game. And Doug Christie and the Kings got absolutely hosed by Mark Davis and the officials. Kings fall in overtime by 1 because of a foul call basically at the buzzer that gave Denny Avdia 2 free throws.
It's a double sticking it up. One for the Blazers blowing the lead against one of the worst teams in the NBA the way that they did in the fourth quarter, and then 2, the officials with one of the worst foul calls I've ever seen in my life watching basketball.
Who's stinking it up? NBA officiating brought to you by our friends at Three Mountains Home Services who want you to save big with this timely furnace tune-up special now. The cold weather is here. It's rainy. It's wet. It's freezing. Get your furnace tuned up this month for only $59. A $59 furnace tune-up. Don't delay. Schedule this service at threemountainshomeservices.com to make home services delightful.
The Fan Sports Network The Fan.
All right, Sprague Line Friday. Get the Sprague Line sponsors in. 503-864-6326. LeBron James maybe never being more man of the people than last night. The Lakers beat the Jazz. He was asked how he has felt about Keontae George's game so far this season. And he responded with, I watch a lot of golf on YouTube, so I'm kind of the wrong guy to ask about that.
One of us. One of us. Just like me, not watching the Jazz.
I told Dirt Swag that it'd be really funny because he started picking up golf. You can actually see LeBron playing golf now.
He's sending out just random tweets in like the middle of the night about YouTube golf episodes from like Good or Bryson DeChambeau. Like he's like 2 o'clock in the morning. I can't believe you guys did that at that course.
It would be underrated awesome if in 4 years he's out of the league for 2, he becomes maniacal about golf, and we get, instead of the Tiger Phil game, we get the Jordan LeBron settle the GOAT golf match.
The match.
I'll be honest with you. One, if he did beat Jordan, which I don't think he would,
that would settle the debate.
Jordan fans would not relinquish. But if he did lose to Jordan, they would absolutely dunk all over him and tell you that's why he's the GOAT. He's clutch.
See, he's not clutch enough in golf.
But also, it'd be really stupid that it all boils down to a golf match.
I'd watch it, though. If they played 18 holes, a little match play skins game, let's go, dude. I'd watch the hell out of that thing.
So if Alabama is to lose to Oklahoma tonight.
By the way, they have not lost to the same team twice in the same season.
Since
1893?
1893. You want to guess the team?
The Fighting Lincolns?
The Birmingham Athletic Club.
Who'd that become?
I don't know.
UAB?
UAB?
I'm assuming. Let me see. What did the Birmingham
I assume that would be UAB.
So basically, this is
okay.
To the
this
point.
never happened.
Never happened. Now, Michigan fan contended with this earlier when this floated out because they beat them in the playoff in Saban's last year and then beat them
in the play.
They did
the
calendar year thing,
the
like
bowl game?
Yeah, in the bowl game last year. Remember they killed them in the bowl game. But
That's
this is
different teams.
Two different teams, two different seasons. Same season is not happening in 130 years.
So we'll see what happens. But if they are to fall to Oklahoma and Norman, are honest to God, would you vote yes or no that by Monday's show we're doing a coming up next? It happened. The Crimson Tide lost their coach to Michigan.
I'm still saying no.
That's their 4th loss, by the way. It'd be
Yeah.
back-to-back seasons. You can count bowl games or not count bowl games by actual recorded record. That'd be back-to-back 4-loss seasons at Alabama.
And they got dominated in the SEC title game. So there's already a bad taste in everybody's mouth. And
I think it's a rare everybody is happy with him leaving.
No matter what.
He's happy he gets more money. He's going to less pressure.
Yeah.
But he's still going to a well-resourced, place that cares. Michigan's happy because they got clearly a good football coach. And Alabama's happy because they've never liked him. They'll never like anybody because they're miserable in their lives. And also, they had just lost a playoff game, and so they don't want that bum.
And he's replacing Nick Saban. Good luck. This is one of the things that a lot of us said when he took that job of, like, be careful what you wish for, because the standard there is national championship or bust year in and year out. And I don't know how many level-headed Alabama fans that actually exist, and you can make the playoff or have a 9-3 year last year, and then this is the way they're going to run you potentially out of town. I still say no because I just have such a hard time in my head computing watching the Alabama head coach walk to another job in college football. This isn't Louisville. It isn't Kentucky. This isn't Miami, Ohio. This is Alabama.
But it is Michigan.
Michigan is a great job. There's no doubt about it. Michigan doesn't have a president. They might fire their athletic director. They're doing investigations to fire more people inside the athletic department. They're still under the microscope a little bit because of a cheating scandal that existed 3 years ago. Like, let's not act like you're walking into the Garden of Eden and everything's going to be perfect up there. Maybe it would be when he arrived on campus. I just still have a hard time picturing that in my head. I think it comes down to a couple things. One, are the comments that he reportedly made earlier in his career that's his dream job valid? Two,
where was he when he made those? Was that the South Dakota run?
I don't know. I just saw random Husky fans over the last 2 weeks kind of saying he might go because I remember him mentioning that's his dream job.
Because if he was over there, it would make sense to say that out loud.
Totally would. In Michigan, I get why it's a dream job for a lot of people. It's a great job, man. It's one of the most iconic helmets and brands in all of the sport. If Michigan is to get him away from Alabama, they're going to throw a massive financial offer at him. Does Bama match? Is that the determining factor? Because he's making a lot of money, but they're going to throw like $15 million a year at him. And is Alabama willing to say, we'll pay you $15 million a year? Or do they look at this as a time of saying, our fan base kind of hates you. You just lost a playoff game. We'll let you walk. They're just lot of moving parts to this, but my heart is still my head is still saying no.
You're voting no on the poll question?
I'm voting no on the poll question.
All right. Yeah, I think it's very interesting. I understand he's lost more games in the last couple years than other coaches. I don't know, man. I kind of do chuckle sometimes at knocking him as a coach in some ways. Like, he certainly loses games he shouldn't lose and puts himself in weird spots against teams that are clearly lesser than.
Mm-hmm.
I think if anything I've learned is the noise on his name. Every big gig that's come open, he's primarily been thrown out as the number one. And I think that in itself should tell you all you need to know about people in the sport of football and how they view him.
He's a very good coach.
He's a great, yeah. I think
and
he's
the
very
idea
good.
that, you're going to do better than that if you're Alabama. The last guy retired, and you're holding this guy to a Saban standard.
Who the hell do they get if he leaves?
The cycle's done. Good luck. Go
You'd
figure
have to steal an NFL guy or something.
Yeah, they're going to call my guy, and I don't think he's going to say yes. So we'll see how it all transpires. I think part of it is too just the way that it goes. It's a moot point. If they win the game, I think it's over. Michigan's got to move on and find another coach because they can't wait until January 1st when their next game would be. But if the domino falls that they lose, it would be absolute chaos if he left.
We have a lot of NFL to get into, a little bit more on the college football playoff this weekend, hour number 3, and we'll Sprague the line in hour number 4. Dirt and Sprague 105.1, The Fan.
Station. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on The Fan, it was as unlikely a series of events that unfolded at Lumen Field as you could dream up. Seahawks down to the Rams 30-14 in the fourth quarter. went on a crazy run that included converting 3 2-point conversions along the way. They take over first place in the NFC West with a 38-37 overtime victory over the Rams and now control their own destiny for the number 1 seed in the conference. Trailblazers almost blew an 18-point second-half lead to the Kings, but they got bailed out by a questionable foul in the final 2 seconds of overtime, giving Denny Avdia 2 free throws to win it. 134-133. The final. Avdia finished with 35 points, 5 boards, and 5 assists. Fifth-seeded Oregon Ducks start what they hope is a month-long run in the college football playoff. Saturday afternoon at Autzen Stadium, they host 12th-seeded James Madison. Kickoff set for 4:30 right here on the Fan. Our live pregame coverage from Eugene will begin at noon. Oregon holding is a 21-point favorite. The first round games begin tonight in Norman, Oklahoma. Sooners hosting the Crimson Tide in the 8-9 game. Oklahoma won the regular season meeting, forcing 3 Bama turnovers. Kickoff 5 p.m. You'll hear it on 910 ESPN Portland with pregame coverage starting at 4:30. Sooners are 1-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live on The Fan.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3, Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan. 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Call that the Fan Sports Network. Happy Football Friday, everybody. It's getting ready. Have you guys got your Myrtle Beach Bowl bets in? About to kick off down there, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Here we go, man.
Here we go. We got an 8 a.m. bowl game start local time right now. They're about to kick off. We have Western Michigan versus Kennesaw State. I did not know this is happening this morning.
Yeah, I also didn't know the broadcasters were going to lean into the Myrtle Beach bra.
I think it's become kind of the thing. If you're broadcasting a bowl game, you kind of like, I think the Pop-Tart guys eat Pop-Tarts during the game.
Well, we know Golick Jr. was doing the mayo thing for a while.
Wasn't he like shoveling mayo into his mouth because he's calling the game? So we got that going on today. That's happening this morning. Happy Friday, everybody. Hope your days are off to a good start.
I can't watch it. It says we have too many videos playing at once, so I can't watch Kennesaw State and Western Michigan in Myrtle Beach.
This is you throw the records out when Kennesaw State and Western Michigan get together.
You think our boss is at this game? Our old boss?
He could be. Drive on down to Myrtle Beach.
Far.
No, not too far away from where he's at in Virginia. So we got a Football Friday. Lots still to get to on the show. We will Sprague the line coming up about an hour and a half. Get your fake sponsors in. 503-864-6326. That is the Fan text line. I'm going to carve out a good amount of time for the NFL in this hour of radio. Because last night was unbelievable, and we talked about it essentially for the entire first hour of the show. If you're wondering
Great game.
What our Seahawk and Ram thoughts were, it was basically all of the, other than Swag's wife's cars getting stolen, it was the entire hour of radio that we did.
Yeah.
The poll question is up. Who had the worst night? Was it Doug Christie? Was it Sean McVay? Or was it Swag and his wife for getting the car stolen? You can go vote on that at Dirt and Sprague on Twitter. Before we do that, though, a couple of lingering thoughts here on college football.
Yeah.
So it was announced late last week. Now, I ended up being out on Monday, so I missed our dear friend from Utah, Bill Riley. But Kyle Whittingham announced that he stepped down. And it was funny that Swag texted and said, I think Dirt nailed this. Kyle Whittingham is retiring, because I remember we brought up the segment. It was after their senior day, and he did a press conference where he was crying. And I'm like, that's kind of weird. Does that indicate, is he emotional? Like, does he do this every senior day? We weren't quite sure, but it felt like maybe this is a sign that he was going to hang him up. And then out of nowhere over the weekend or Friday, whatever day it was Kyle Whittingham done coaching at Utah. Oh, my God. Shocker. Been there forever. Well-respected, as well-liked a coach that has existed in college football.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, Stuart Mandel, after that news came out, he said, I don't think he's retiring. I think he's just stepping down. He's not announcing he's done coaching. And then yesterday, we had Kyle Whittingham talk about his future in the profession, and he said, quote, I'm a free agent. I'm in the transfer portal. Like I said, I'm at peace. I did not want to be the guy that overstayed his welcome with people just saying, hey, when's that guy going to leave? That was not my intention ever. I hope I didn't do that. I'm sure with some people I did do that, but the timing to me, the timing was right. And so again, kind of indicating Kyle Whittingham's not done coaching potentially. And the immediate thought that I had was, we just talked about one school hiring Kalen DeBoer if he loses tonight. If Kalen DeBoer wins tonight, how is this not the first call that Michigan makes?
Well, have they given up on Dillingham?
That's a great question.
I think that's
great question.
the follow-up, because by all the reporting, it seems like he is 1A, 1B, or number 2 for them in the running here.
Let's say DeBoer and Dillingham tell you no.
I mean, I kind of wonder a couple things here. One, what leads him to just finally be like, this is it for me at Utah, give it to Morgan Scalley versus retiring?
I don't know.
And two, is this
how much of it was Scalley being like, dude?
No, I think they have a great relationship.
When was he named the coach in waiting? When that like seven years ago?
Well, you got to remember he had to massage the reputation a little bit.
Yeah.
He had some off the field stuff, and so they've kind of been waiting that out for him to build that back up. I'm going to say this, and I really like our friend Kyle Whittingham. I'm hoping we get to talk to him, but it sounds like we won't. Is this a midlife crisis? We get a weird version of Kyle Whittingham when he goes to a Michigan?
Yeah.
Dyed goatee, thinking I'm going to win now, I have the resources, and I kind of lose all control of the way I built Utah. Because it wasn't like Utah just snapped his fingers. Like, he took it over for Urban.
Yeah, it was in a good spot when he took it over.
He kept it humming.
Yeah, they won the Fiesta Bowl in his first game he ever coached.
Then he transitioned from the Mountain West to the Pac-12.
Took him a couple of years.
Took him 2 years. 5 and 7 were his worst years, and then he built it into a potential contender within the Pac-12, which is no easy feat. And now in this landscape, he's going to have the Ellison, Ross, Portnoy money, and so it's just going to be given to him. And we've seen in the past, like, sometimes it doesn't always work out. But I largely am with you in the idea of, if DeBoer wins tonight, I think DeBoer is definitely out. He might be out if he loses. This dude seems like a good guy to get you from point A to point B. It's not that he can't win at Michigan. It's that, can he stabilize and basically give you a better, more aesthetically pleasing version of what you had this year? And if not, finish at 10-2 and make it a debate for the committee to put them in the running of the playoff. And so Sharon Moore clearly had his weaknesses and his faults, obviously.
Yes.
But even watching the football team, you never felt like the record matched who they were. Whittingham on paper feels like he'd fit that. I only have that small concern in the back of my mind of, why is he leaving Utah, his all-time place?
Right.
And he's going to go to Michigan now? Is this like a midlife
it's an interesting
coach crisis?
Yeah, because when he announced it, I think the initial reaction from everybody was, we've wondered how long it's like. He's been a guy for 5 years. We've done this could be it. This could be it.
And it's always felt like retirement. Not I'm stepping down, I'm going to go somewhere else. And now this quote, it's like, whoa.
He's 66 years old, so it's not, it's a little bit different than being 75. How old was Saban when he hung him up? Early, mid
70, 69.
So a couple more years away from that potentially. To your point, he's been at Utah, coaching at Utah since 1994.
So what is it about this now that makes him want to walk away and basically jump into what he calls the coaching portal?
Well, and to the point, like, let's say the DeBoer shocking news happens, and they lose, and he gets hired tomorrow morning. Oh, my God, DeBoer's on a plane to Ann Arbor, Michigan. What the hell? He's the new coach. Now Alabama needs a new coach. Hey, maybe Kyle Whittingham.
Does Bama call him?
I don't know. But if neither of those things happen, it's just interesting to hear, like, if you're saying you're in the portal, does that mean you want to take a year off and then jump back into it? It was a wide-ranging interview. I'll go try and find a couple of the other questions that he answered. But
who did he do it with?
I can't remember. It was like an on-3 graphic that I was seeing of the quotes that were coming out. I know he did have a media scrum yesterday, too, because they're getting ready to play their bowl game as well. And so he's still coaching in the bowl game this upcoming weekend. But he basically highlighted how there's a balance of, like, I want to take some time away, but also I still have the fire. Like, I still have that competitive nature in me, and I'm not quite ready to let that die yet. So do you go hang out for a year and do some consulting and then wait for the openings next year and then go coach again? It's a very unique thing. I understand his thought process of, I've been here so long, I've had it at a certain level for so long, and I want to leave on good terms. I do think that's something that more people in sports should be considerate of, because we see a lot of people look no further than Mike Gundy this year at Oklahoma State. Mike Gundy had been at Oklahoma State forever, and he'd done a very good job there. For whatever reason over the last couple of years, him not putting the importance on the right issues or topics, or filling out his roster or NIL, whatever the case might have been, things slipped, and then he gets fired, and then it's just kind of a weird, ugly divorce. And so part of me genuinely respects him for being like, man, this has been a great run. I've been here for 30 years. I've been the head coach for 20 years. We've won conference championships. We've gone to Rose Bowls. We were 10-2 in my last year. This is it for me. You guys are in great hands. I'm going to go coach somewhere else now, because you don't want to have that ugly divorce at the end of it if things do take a wrong turn. But just the idea of him coaching somewhere else is going to be a very, very weird one.
So I went and I read the whole Desert News. I went and found his quotes, basically summation of all the questions he was asked. I mean, it was just really important to him to get the program righted again, to put it in this position.
Because last year was ugly with Rising and the injury, and they were 5-7. It was a bad year last year.
He basically says, I have too much respect for my coaching staff. I needed this program to be headed in the right direction again. We did that. He talked about how much he's loved Utah. He has a specialty in his contract to work closely with the athletic director once he officially retires for $3.45 million.
So that could be something, too, where it's not coaching and he's doing that angle.
He has not made his mind up yet. The portal quote is in there, but it also sounds like if he gets a phone call, he'll take it.
But he's not seeking it.
He's also not actively trying. He's not really sure what he wants to do quite yet, but he's leaving all doors possibly open.
Fascinating stuff, man. And to your point as well, like I brought this up with Matt Campbell when he was hired at Penn State. I think there's a lot of examples of it. He is mainly probably the best one over the last 20 years, but we always do if you only gave that guy resources, see what he could do. But it doesn't always necessarily work out that way. So to your point on Michigan, like we would all say that in our head. Well, Kyle Whittingham with resources, not a guarantee that it's going to work out.
Kyle's a better coach than Mike Riley, but Mike Riley definitely did that about Nebraska. Yeah,
he was that. Oh, get him Nebraska resources, see how it goes. And they had 1 year where they won like 8 games, and then the rest of it wasn't very good. So a weird curveball on a kind of bombshell story late last week that Whittingham was going to step down and then not retire, and now he's saying, I'm in the portal, my phone's open, give me a call, we'll see how it works out. Maybe Bama or Michigan or whoever is in the look for a coach right now is one of those teams that gives them a call. But wild one out of Utah. Let's get into the NFL. What a slate we got this weekend. The ramifications, especially after last night's game, we'll dive into it coming up next. 105.1 FM The Fan.
Fan.
Well, we might have a bloodbath on our hands in Myrtle Beach. Look out when the Western Michigan Broncos come stampeding into your town. It's already 14-0.
Oh.
Early blowout. Somebody texted me. Let me find this one. This one was funny. Bowl season is the magical time when you ask yourself, is this a basketball game or a football game? I also ask myself every night when I'm scrolling through YouTube TV, is this game live or did this already happen? Is this a replay? I don't know right now. Because there were bowl games last night. Did you know there was a bowl game on last night?
No.
Yeah, there was.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until Nope, nobody did.
They are on the teal turf in Conway,
Dude, the Western
South
Michigan
Carolina.
Broncos are about to run Kennesaw State out of town. Stop the presses. This is big news out of the Myrtle Beach Bowl right now. Are we excited? Talking about bowl games, are we excited for the mighty Coug Bowl this weekend that's taking place?
Yeah, dude. So excited for the Cougs.
The Coug Bowl? No, not the Cougs. The Coug Bowl.
Coug Bowl, yeah.
We have a Coug Bowl this weekend.
I know.
Do you know what the Coug Bowl is?
Your mom versus my mom.
It is not.
Oh.
Sunday, 10 a.m. CBS. We got Gardner Minshew versus
Right.
who's the other Coug quarterback in the NFL?
Yeah.
Cam Ward.
Yep.
Okay, there you
That's
go.
what I was going to say.
Chiefs and Titans. We got the Coug Bowl Saturday. Minshew versus Cam Ward.
Getting mad at me because the portal exists and I forget what schools these guys go to.
They don't have that many to choose. There's not a lot of Cougs in the NFL. Quarterbacks, that is. But they got two of them, and they happen to be playing each other this weekend.
Are we? We're not.
Coug fans are very excited about this.
We're not talking about
Coug fans are very fired up. Might
No,
be
they're
the
not.
game. Some people are saying it's game of the weekend in the NFL. Chiefs,
Huge, the most.
Chiefs versus Titans. Everybody's you throw out the records when the Chiefs and Titans play each other with backup quarterback on one side.
I swear to God, if this is on my red zone, I'm going to be so pissed off.
I mean, you know it will be.
Yeah, I know.
Because they always find a way to do that and piss you off.
You see Cam Ward wants a say in the coach?
I don't blame him at all.
I don't either.
I don't know. I wouldn't give him a say, but I don't blame him for saying he wants a say.
Well, here's my take, because Casey was stepping in for Swag yesterday, not getting his car stolen, and he told us after the show, it's like, this is ridiculous. And I'm like, dude, if you were Cam Ward, wouldn't you also want to say?
Yep.
You were the number one pick. Your franchise is terrible. Your ownership sucks. You've already lost your coach. You have a new system to learn. Like, I kind of want to know who my guy is, because guess what? My entire future is going to be dictated on this hire. If we continue to suck because you pick a bad coach,
His career in Tennessee will be tied to whoever they hire.
and then he'll be the guy that's like, man, Cam Ward, really a franchise quarterback? I don't know about
Right.
that. Like, and then he's going to have to be a Geno, a Darnold, one of these. So
How many quarterbacks have survived two bad head coaches with the same organization? Because I'll throw two at you, and maybe there's another one
like,
that you
and
guys can
stayed
think
with
of,
the organization
and they're
or
still
gone on to
with.
be good?
So either or. So right now you
Because
have
Baker had to do this.
He did, but he didn't survive with the organization.
No.
He survived as a player. Guys
Yeah.
have gone on to have good careers. I would argue Lawrence was a little bit of this, because you had Urban Meyer,
The worst of all time.
the worst coach in the history of the NFL.
Yep.
And then I was a Peterson guy, but that clearly was not a good hire. It didn't work out.
I mean,
At the moment, it looked good. They won the playoff game in year one, and
nobody
then it just
blamed anybody for hiring
No,
that.
But I'm saying he has found a way to survive both
Sure.
those guys, and maybe is thriving now under his third head coach. And the other one would be Herbert, because he started with Anthony Lynn,
and then got Staley.
Brandon Staley,
Yeah.
and then finally Jim Harbaugh.
Can I just counter on the Lawrence thing?
Yeah.
Because you're right. Like, you are right. Did he survive because of his ability, or did he survive because they gave him a contract they had no way out of?
Probably the latter.
Right? Like, if he was on the end of the deal and Liam Cohen came in, would he have kept Lawrence?
I don't know the answer to that, and probably not.
I don't confidently say yes to that, and maybe he does, but
He was bad last year.
Him and Herbert are probably the two exceptions to this rule, because most of the time,
That's kind of all you get. You get two cracks at it, and then, all right, we're blowing this thing up. You're gone, I'm gone, everybody gone.
yeah.
So we have the Coug Bowl this weekend. Sprague will watch every second of it. Let's start with tomorrow night in the NFL slate. I will not be watching this game live because I'll be down in Eugene, but I'm going to DVR it, and I can't wait to get back and watch it when I get home. Bears and Packers played a really good game 2 weeks ago at Lambeau. Green Bay dominated the first half. They seemingly were in control the entire game, and all of a sudden you look up, Chicago is driving with a chance to win the game, and then Caleb underthrows a ball by maybe 4 inches, and it gets picked off, and Green Bay seals the win. There is, as we talked about last night, so much on the line, because last night Seattle winning now opened the door where San Francisco somehow controls their own destiny to get the 1 seed of the NFC.
Yeah.
Same thing here for Chicago, because they are right now in the driver's seat in the NFC North. They lose this game, that goes out the window. They'd be 10-5. Green Bay all of a sudden is back in first place. The Bears have to play the 49ers next week, and then they get the Lions in the last week of the season, which might be for the 7 seed if they are to lose tomorrow night. a ton on the line for a team who is playing potentially for their chance to lock up a playoff spot. How are we feeling about Packers and Bears round 2?
I mean, I'm pretty jacked about it. It's going to be on the iPad, and if Oregon ends up going like 45-3, I'm going to switch those. Oregon will be on the iPad, and I will be putting the Bears on the main screen. I understand why nobody trusts Chicago here. It's largely driven by one player. Right? It's Caleb, because the run game's good.
Mm-hmm.
Their defense post that crazy-ass Bengals game has been solid, pretty stout.
It's been solid, yeah.
And I think people trust Ben Johnson. If Caleb can just – man, he just has a consistency problem. His numbers aren't egregious.
No, on the season, they're not terrible at all.
His completion percentage is his problem. He needs to shore that up. But, like, largely his numbers going into last week were really not that different from Bo's. And then Bo had a blow-up monster great game. And so I think when they struggle, it's all his fault for people because, well, the fingernails and the crying in mom's lap.
That's just the way we handle quarterbacks, too. It's just kind of a weird way we do it.
But if he shows any semblance of being second-half Caleb against Green Bay the way he did.
He was great in the back half of that game.
They're going to have a great shot to win this. This one's in Chicago, correct?
It is in Chicago. The first one was in Green Bay.
And this is the first one without Parsons.
Yep.
So now, what is the pass rush going to look like for Green Bay? If he's not going to be disrupted much, I do think Chicago's going to win. I've a little shaky on some of the Caleb stuff, but I have thought Chicago has been a good team most of the year, and they've had some trip moments, but largely they've handled their business pretty well. And for me, it was the Philly game, and I know Philly is not last year's Philly team, but to dominate them the way that they did on that Friday Thanksgiving holiday weekend. It really opened my eyes because I thought they were going to lose that game and they'd lose their ground in this thing. I was really impressed with it. So I think no Parsons.
It's a huge part of this.
We'll see what Watson going to play. If he does play, what's he going to look like?
Right.
Obviously, they lost Kraft a few weeks back. This is a good opportunity for Chicago to take the reins of this thing. I think Chicago's going to win.
It's the first time, by the way, you mentioned the completion percentage being the biggest question of him. And it's totally, 58% is not good for an NFL quarterback.
You need to be in the mid-60s at like worst. And some of these guys aren't. Like, there's a lot of them that aren't.
No.
But Johnson's got to be tearing his hair out over that.
If you want to be in that next category of quarterback conversation, that just is a number that has to get better for him. If you're looking for a silver lining, last week against the Browns, who do have a very good defense, was the first time he was over 60% completion percentage in a game since their game at Baltimore before Halloween.
Yeah, they destroyed the Browns.
The week before, in the loss to Green Bay, he was at 54%. They did beat Philly in that game. He was at 47%. They beat Pittsburgh. He was 54%. Beat the Vikings. He was 50%. Beat the Giants. He was 55%. And in that crazy Bengal game, he was 58%. So been a long time since he had crossed over that threshold. So that's a sign that maybe it's heading back in the right direction where they can get him some easy throws, kind of keep the clock moving and get the rhythm going of the offense a little bit. Just massive for them. Hard to have a feel either way on this game because I loved Green Bay the first time that they played, and I'm watching the first 3 quarters of the game seeing, I told you.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, here comes Caleb lighting the world on fire in the second half, and if he throws that ball an extra yard in the fourth quarter.
Or hits DJ Moore in stride.
Maybe they win the game, right? Yeah. But they lose it 28-21. And you also have a Green Bay team who's coming in as a wounded animal. They went on the road to Denver, both literally and figuratively, right? They get banged up. Parsons is down. You mentioned the wide receiver injuries. Also, where's their mental state at? And knowing that if they win this game, now they're back in the driver's seat to win the NFC North, despite losing last week. This is one I will not be able to watch live, but I cannot wait for Bears-Packers.
It should be noted, I think yesterday the Packers announced that both Jacobs and Watson are questionable to play. So no Josh Jacobs and no Christian Watson. Watson would be brutal. Love is 4-1 in his career against Chicago. His one loss, I think, was a game he ended up leaving of injury. He was 7-12 for 69 yards. But in their last matchup, he was 68 completion percentage, 234, and 3 tuds.
It's also one of those, like, you just got to get over the mental hurdle of it. Their record.
Well, because Rodgers owned them.
And
now Love is sitting here 4-1.
They have. I pulled up StatMuse just to look in the last 10 years. They've played 19 times. This will be the 20th game.
How many times have they beaten them in 20?
And the 19 times going into tomorrow, the Bears are 2-17 against the Green Bay Packers.
Oh my God.
And the first one was at Lambeau. This one Soldier Field, so you get him at home. Like,
A big game for the Bears defense because of the weapons that might be missing for Green Bay on offense. And obviously, we know the pressure that's on a Caleb Williams here. Is this not, to me or to everybody else, this is almost equally as important for Johnson?
Yeah.
You're going to talk all that S.
Yeah, he did it. We talked about it the first time they played a couple weeks ago.
And you lost that game in early December, and here you go with a chance to kind of control your destiny and put yourself in a spot. You're at home. They're wounded. Talk your S, man. If you're going to talk your S, you got to back it up.
You got to be able to back it up. Sounds like weather will not be a factor in this game. Just chilly, 35, 36 degrees, nothing crazy.
Yeah.
Like it was last week in Chicago. 2 last notes on this. Did we all see the fan in the Bears-Browns game who brought a bag of spaghetti in a Ziploc bag to eat in the stands? Do we condone that behavior? I know your answer. Swag, do we condone that behavior?
No.
Not bringing a bag of pasta?
I may or may not have one time when we were doing a Buffalo Wild Wings show, which we were doing every day for like every week. I may or may not have once upon a time brought a Tupperware of spaghetti and asked them if they could heat it up in their kitchen.
Leftover pasta never hurt anybody?
I didn't want to spend money on Buffalo Wild Wings for the 19th straight night. God sue me. I wanted some homemade spaghetti leftovers. It's an all-time bad moment for me. There's no doubt.
Go look at the video if you haven't seen it. They literally labeled on the Ziploc bag the date in the game, too, so it makes everybody think, do you do this for every game? Because it said Browns versus Bears and then whatever the date on Saturday was.
Or
had
was
a fork.
it hand spaghetti?
It was in a big gallon Ziploc bag, fork, and just twisting, eating, twisting, eating.
Well, I brought it up Monday. Did you see the fan that also showed you how cold it was in Chicago? He opened up the RC Cola and it instantly slushed.
Yes, it was like wind chill of -10 or whatever in Chicago.
Why are these people going to these games?
Well, they're trying to build a dome, but they might have to do it in Indiana, and that's a whole nother conversation.
The Indiana Bears.
The old Indiana Bears might be coming to the NFC North to a theater near you. Big one tomorrow. Let's stick in the NFL. The rest of the slate, we'll dive into it.
We're going to dive into college.
Oh, that's right. We got to go. JMU play-by-play guy. Thank you. Back into college. Appreciate the heads up.
Yep.
Let's talk to the play-by-play man of JMU. I was down my.
That's okay.
I was down my NFL.
The NFL
hole.
pants are hot.
They're hot right now after last night. JMU's coming to town. They're play-by-play guys. Next, first your Swag with Sports Center.
This is Dirt and Sprague. First round week of the college football playoff is brought to you by Video Only. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the Seattle Seahawks now control their own destiny for the number 1 seed in the NFC. This after coming back from down 30-14 in the fourth quarter. They got 3 touchdowns and 3 two-point conversions along the way to beat the Rams 38-37 in overtime. 5th-seeded Oregon Ducks start what they hope will be a month-long run into the college football playoff. They host 12th-seeded James Madison Saturday afternoon at Autzen Stadium, 4:30 kick. We'll have it for you right here on the Fan. Duke's play-by-play man Dave Riggert joining the show next. Live pregame coverage from Eugene will start at noon Saturday. Oregon a 21-point favorite. First-round games will start tonight in Norman. Oklahoma hosting Alabama in the 8-9 game. Sooners winning the regular season meeting by forcing 3 Bama turnovers. Kickoff 5 o'clock on 910 ESPN Portland. Our pregame coverage will start at 4:30. Oklahoma a 1-point favorite. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of And in this wide world of sports, some stories can slip through the cracks.
Now, before we do this, let's go over the ground rules.
Pelican Brewing presents the Daily Ticker, where Dirt and Sprague hit the big stories you've heard about, and some you haven't.
How'd you do that? Thanks, I'm not even mad. It's amazing.
The Daily Ticker with Dirt and Sprague is poured by Pelican Brewing's Bad Santa, the Cascadian Dark Ale that brings holiday cheer to your glass. Get on the naughty list with Bad Santa.
That's right, Daily Ticker time on a Football Friday, brought to you as always by our wonderful friends at Pelican Brewing Company and their Bad Santa Cascadian Dark Ale. Slay your thirst with each sip of the Northwest's favorite seasonal beer now at your local grocers. Our own Bad Santa dropped off some Bad Santa gifts for us yesterday, and I can't wait to get my hands on some of those.
We held the door open for our delightful friend Dave Kingsella for somebody from Pelican, and we were like, oh.
We're like, who's getting Pelican gear out of this? We had no idea, and then it's for us.
Turned out to be for us.
We love our friends at Pelican. Go grab some Bad Santa. It's my favorite beer of the year. Look forward to it. Big one tomorrow night at Autzen. I'll be down at the stadium. Should be a nice, cool night for a college football playoff game. And the JMU Dukes are in town, baby. Round one of the college football playoff. James Madison's play-by-play man joining us now, Dave Riggert. You can go follow him on Twitter at Dave Riggert. Dave, good morning to you. What can you just encapsulate what the last 2 weeks have been like for you and for James Madison of, oh my God, this is happening, and now we're on the eve of a college football playoff game when James Madison was playing FCS football 4 years ago?
Well, that's probably where it all begins for me. But, fellas, I appreciate you having me on. It's an exciting time for JMU, there's no doubt, because when I took over the job, this is my fifth season of doing games, and the first season that I got there, they were still playing FCS football. And then 2 months after I got the job, all of a sudden they make the announcement that they're going to FBS, moving to the Sun Belt, and it became a much better job in a matter of 2 months for me, which was nice. But to be able to see what they've done since the transition and to make the jump pretty seamlessly and go 40-10 in their 4 years since moving up to FBS football has been pretty remarkable. And you mentioned the last couple of weeks, and this is just the second year they're even eligible to be in the college football playoff, and to be in is insane, to be honest. No one thought this. I remember the first year, Coach Signetti was still the coach at that time. When they made the transition, he was the perfect coach for the transition because he had been at Alabama, he had been at NC State, he had been at the Power Four and understood what it took. So he was the perfect coach for the transition. But we were looking at the team saying, can they compete in the Sun Belt? Will they win 3 or 4 games in year one? I mean, that's what we were thinking the first couple of years. And then they come out of the gate and win 8 their first year, 11 the next year. And it was just like, wow. And then a coaching change happens. You think, okay, they're probably going to take a step back. And Coach Chesney just has taken off. And the last 2 weeks have been remarkable because obviously with being behind Tulane and North Texas at times in the CFP rankings, we knew it was kind of a pipe dream at that point in time to even get into the CFP. We knew we were kind of on the brink, but probably not going to get over an American team. But then all of a sudden, we're coming back from Coastal Carolina to wrap up the regular season, and Cal is beating SMU, and that's a wild one. And then Cal wins, and we're just like, man, that's going to send Duke to the ACC championship. There's another possibility now, another route that the JMU could get into the CFP. So just all the emotions. That game was weird watching the ACC championship and rooting for Duke and having, again, it affected all of our lives so much, but we didn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. But it's been remarkable. It's been awesome. These kids are enjoying every minute of it, and this is a fun team to be around. And again, they're kind of playing with house money right now. They certainly want to win, but all the pressure is not on them. It's on Oregon right now. So they're having fun right now.
Yeah, the Duke's rooting for Duke. Weird synergy in the universe there. I'm curious, like when you lose a Signetti and he goes to Indiana and, he says Purdue sucks and Ohio State sucks. And we're like, who is this guy in Indiana? What is he doing? And now you look at him, he's the number 1 seed overall in the playoff. He clearly knows what he's doing. But if I'm a JMU fan, right? Like if Signetti had gone to Oregon State and then left Oregon State, I'd be like, well, there goes the greatest coach in our program's history. Where do you go from here? Chesney comes in, relatively unknown, I think, to everybody outside of the East Coast. And you know what? Like, it's been unbelievable, as you mentioned, just the second year of eligibility to get them here. It's one thing to take over Signetti. What did you notice about Chesney that he was able to do in trying to build JMU back up? Because Signetti took quite a few players with him to Indiana.
Yeah, he took 13, as a matter of fact. They were pretty much all starters, too. So when Coach Signetti left and Coach Chesney came in, he had 3 starters that remained on the team from the previous year that won 11 games, a center, a guard, and a punter. That was all he had. So he had to bring in over 60 new guys in year one. And the one thing that I found out right away with Coach Chesney and his staff is that he does a tremendous job of bringing the team together as one and kind of being one unit. Even when Coach Signetti was the head coach at JMU, there was a divide kind of between the offense and defense. And you see that a lot on football teams quite a bit. I mean, not that they were against each other, but they just didn't really hang out. They were kind of separated a little bit. Even the guys that were with Coach Chesney that had played for Coach Signetti said it was kind of strange. Coach Chesney does a tremendous job of getting all the guys together to be one, and the offense hangs out with the defense and everything like that. This is the closest knit team that I've ever been around in my 20 years of being around college athletics. It's not even close. Last year's team was good. This year's team is even better. He does a tremendous job of really being a team and getting these guys on the same page. And the one thing that I really like with him and his coaching staff is he tells them why. You know, a lot of coaches can go through and be like, you know, this is what we're doing, and then they just expect the player to do it. Well, Coach Chesney and his staff, they explain why they're telling them to do it a certain way, whether that's on the field, off the field. They understand the why of everything and not just, hey, go do this because you're the player, I'm the coach. So many coaches are like that, and they're just like, hey, this is what we're doing, and they don't ever get the why. All the guys here understand the why of they do everything on and off the football field, and it's really made them a tight-knit group. This year, they went after a little bit more production over potential in the transfer portal. You can go get a lot of Power 4 guys, but is it always a good thing if they're not playing for an Oregon or an Alabama or Georgia or whoever it is? Not always. Just because they were at that school doesn't mean they're a great football player. So they went to the FCS route. They went to the Group of 5 route and brought transfers in that had been productive in their college careers and are pretty mature guys. And that's something that has really worked this year for this team. And it's a mature group. They've been around college football, even though it's not always been at JMU. They've been around a lot of football and seen a lot of things throughout their time. So it's a mature group that really kind of lives in the moment. Yeah, we're talking with Dave Riggert. He is the voice of James Madison. They're at Autzen Stadium tomorrow night. The opening round of the college football playoff kicks off tonight, and then down in Eugene tomorrow night, 4:30. You can hear the game right here on the Fan, the home of the Oregon Ducks. I'm curious to ask you, the conversation to me has been a little nauseating. I know my team is playing James Madison, and so we're involved in this debate. But this whole idea, like Nick Saban yesterday saying, would we let a AAA team play in the World Series? And I feel like the anger is kind of pointed in the wrong direction to your original, answer you gave us. Like, this is the ACC's fault. If you're mad at anybody,
yeah,
don't be mad
at itself.
Like, why are you mad at James Madison?
They're
just playing by the rules, and they had a great year, and it's an unbelievable story that they were FCS a couple years ago. What's been the reaction? It doesn't seem like any rational fans are complaining about this. It's more talking heads in media. What's been the reaction from your corner on some of the noise that has now existed since the bracket came out?
One of the things that I keep saying, because this keeps getting brought up to all the players, to the coaches, it gets brought up to me a lot, is, a lot of people are saying you don't deserve to be there. James Madison did everything that they were supposed to do. They played by the rules. They had an unbelievable regular season and a Sun Belt championship. So they did everything that they did. They're an automatic bid. They are not an at-large bid where somebody picks them to get in. They're an automatic bid because they're one of the highest conference champions that won their league. So they did everything they were supposed to do. And I think these guys are kind of taking that and running with it. And they enjoy kind of having a chip on their shoulder. A lot of these guys did play FCS football. Some played Division II. They were at a lower level. They don't have a ton of stars by their names when they were getting recruited. So they've always kind of had a chip on their shoulder. And they love that. They love to kind of be the underdog and do that. It's too bad because you're right. It's the ACC's fault for not having the right tiebreakers and getting the right teams into their championship game. So JMU did everything that they were supposed to do. And so it's kind of annoying. But what I keep saying is they're in. I don't care how they got in. Yeah. It wasn't, again, it was an automatic bid. They got in. You guys can talk all you want about they shouldn't be in, but guess what? They're in the college football playoff, and your team is not, or whoever. I mean, JMU now, in their second year of eligibility, is one of only 27 programs ever to make the college football playoff.
We got a coworker who's a big USC fan, and I'm like, you realize that James Madison made a college football playoff before USC, right? It's unbelievable.
My alma mater is Nebraska, and I say the same thing to them. So it's remarkable what's happened, and they're really relishing this. They love being the underdog. They want to be the Cinderella story, so to speak. They know it's going to be an enormous challenge to defeat the Ducks. But and there's a lot of people that are making the point like, oh,
Tulane and JMU could get blown out by 25. Well, guess what? The first-round games last year, there were a lot of blowouts in the first round, whether they were SEC, ACC, Big Ten teams.
Right.
Yeah, Dave, I looked you up on Google Images because I was curious. I'm always curious who we're talking to. And I don't know if you've ever looked yourself up on Google Images and what images pop up, but if I'm going by the picture, man, like you could just pick Saban up and stuff him in a trash can.
Yeah,
you look like you're
toss him.
sizably bigger than Nick Saban.
Hey, remember when he lost to Louisiana Monroe? How did that feel playing a AAA team that day when he was in Alabama?
If we took his lifts out of his shoes, I legitimately, you look like you might be a foot taller than Nick Saban.
Let me ask you this. Last one I got for you, Dave. I'm curious, just, we've talked a lot about the Oregon angle of this game this week and, getting healthy at wide receiver. And, there's a lot of fans who are just kind of going in the idea of like, all right, let's tune up and get ready for Texas Tech, just expecting a win because of the lopsided nature of the spread and all that. From a football angle of this, what are the areas that they are the strongest that you feel like if this does become a game in the second half, it's because James Madison did what?
Well, I think it's their defense, number one. I think their defense is phenomenal. And they showed it earlier in the year against Louisville. That was a full-strength Louisville team that went to Miami, who's in the CFP, and beat Miami. And JMU had Louisville on the ropes. They held Louisville to 12 first downs that entire football game. 264 yards, and 144 yards came on 2 plays in the second half. So there were 51 plays. They had 120 yards. So this defense is legit. Now, can they hang on for 60 minutes against a team like Oregon? I think Oregon is better than Louisville, but it does show you that they can compete at this level. And again, they held Louisville 65 yards in the first half. So this defense is legit. And they are top 5 in the country in most major categories for a reason. I know that the competition isn't the same as it is in the Big Ten or the other Power 4 conferences, but they are a defense that flies around. They get off the field on third down. They force turnovers. They're very aggressive. They keep guys fresh because they play a lot of guys up front. So I do think this defense, and it could change a little bit tomorrow with Oregon because they have their receivers back. They could do a little bit more of 11 personnel, but they've done a lot of 12 personnel, a lot of 22 personnel with 2 tight ends, and that kind of fits JMU's MO. They are so good against the run that might fit the Dukes a little bit better against the Ducks. So we'll see if that does or not, but I think I have a ton of faith in this defense that they can at least contain Oregon to keep them in the game. The worry that I have is up front on the offensive line. They had a hard time against Louisville's D-line, and Oregon's is better. Can they run the football like they've done all year long to be able to set up their passing game and play action, the RPOs? That's where I have a big concern with obviously, Oregon's defense is top 10 in the country in most major categories, too. So up front in the trenches is the biggest difference probably from the P4 to the G5, and can they hang on for 60 minutes? Because they didn't move the ball great against Louisville, and they're going to have to do it a lot better. Now, it's a much different team, a much better team than it was in week 2 when they played the Cardinals. But that's my concern, is if they can move the ball consistently against Oregon's defense.
Dave, can you be honest about something here, please? Please be honest about this. Have you in the hotel room one time looked in the mirror and done the if JMU pulls the upset call?
Oh, good question.
Practiced it, what you're going to say, the Dukes down the Ducks. Have you practiced it out loud by yourself?
I have not yet, but I will. I can't lie. I have thought about it.
There you go. Thank you. That's all we look for. Honesty.
Well done, man.
Well done. Maybe I still have time. Maybe tonight.
Okay.
Maybe tonight.
And it should just be, suck it, Nick Saban.
That's a great way to end the call. Dave Riggert is the voice of James Madison in Eugene, getting ready for tomorrow night, 4:30, Oregon versus James Madison, opening round of the college football playoff. At Dave Riggert on Twitter. Go give him a follow. Dave, thanks so much for the time, man. What a great time to take the James Madison job. Keep riding that roller coaster and have fun tomorrow night in Eugene.
Thanks, gentlemen. I appreciate your time.
There you go. Dave Riggert of James Madison. As they get ready, you got to have that call ready to go, just in case.
Look,
you got every play-by-play guy's got to have it. You got to know what you're going to do.
Like the other guy said earlier this week, and now Dave, I think, is kind of saying this in a roundabout way. We're here for a good time, not a long time.
Dude, he's they have no pressure. They get blown out, they get blown out. They're expected to get blown out. If it's competitive, it's great. They got nothing to lose tomorrow. Empty the bag. We'll see what happens. Should be fun. Let's do this. Short segment. It'll be a little bit of a Rick Pitino in the bathroom.
How about Johnson?
A Diet Johnson. Let's fill out our brackets next segment.
Got it.
Back to the NFL top of the hour.
Yeah.
Ready, break.
The Fan.
All right, welcome back in. I hear Danny Meringue yelling out there about something probably Blazer related. I'm going to send Swag some audio that I'm pretty sure we can't play, but man, I hope we can because it's really funny.
Who's it from?
Somebody's been suspended from their audio job. I'll just say that much.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I don't think we can play it. I don't think.
Is it the radio station?
What radio station?
There's a radio station in the South that got caught having sex.
No, what?
But it turned out to be, they said it was fake.
Oh, it was a bit that
so
they
I
did?
didn't know if you fell for a...
No,
I don't know if it was
is
a bit. I just think they said audio was fake.
I saw a team tweet out an apology and a suspension, and I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't see what happened. Let's follow through on this bad boy. And I listened to it, and oh my God, I just sent it your way. Well, I digress. Any whoosies, let's fill out our bracket. Why hasn't bracket filling out become a bigger thing in college football?
Because a lot of the games are too predictable, I think, to people.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, like when you get JMU Oregon's and Tulane Ole Miss, who's picking Tulane and
Anybody?
JMU?
Anybody rolling the dice on Tulane or JMU?
No.
Okay. No. So tonight we got Bama, Oklahoma.
Who will win by a wider margin, Ole Miss or Oregon?
I think Oregon will.
Okay.
I think Oregon will.
Bama, Oklahoma tonight. Who do we got, gentlemen?
I wrote Alabama, and I didn't do it with any joy in my life.
Well, it's not an official bracket yet till you submit it into my folders of file keeping.
Okay.
So you can I have cross it filled out. I give it to you.
You can cross it out and rewrite if you want.
Let me write my name on it.
If you feel like changing your vote, you can. Swag.
I am putting Bama. They can't. The Tide can't possibly be that bad against a Sooners team that can't score on offense.
I mean,
Or can they?
They just
can
lost
they?
to them.
They're 0-2 against them. I too have Alabama, and that terrifies me.
There
Oklahoma's going to win the game.
The death nail.
Sure winning. Miami A&M tomorrow morning.
I took A&M. I'm taking the home team.
Okay.
I know how they ended their season. I just like Elko more than Mario, and I think that place is going to be rocking as if it was a night game. I wrote A&M.
Okay. Swag?
I'm taking Miami. I think I think Carson Beck has been through enough wars, even if he throws a pick early or something happens. And I think the Canes defense is the best unit on the field.
Okay. I'm going to take Miami for that reason as well. I trust their defense in this game. Low confidence picks. Let's go to the top of the bracket quarterfinals.
Yep.
Oregon, Texas Tech.
I actually battled this one. I really think there's a World Tech wins that game. I think that D-line is going to be the best pass rush Oregon's faced all year. I love the linebacker play at Tech. I worry about Baron Morton. They have the weapons on offense. I just worry about Baron Morton. I wrote Oregon. That's a toss-up coin flip game. I wrote Oregon.
Okay, Swag.
I'll take the Ducks. If they're truly healthy back at wide receiver and they can start scheming and coming up with all sorts of fun stuff. I think that defensive line and the linebackers, I think they get to Baron Morton. I don't know if he'll finish the game.
You laughing at the idea of Texas Tech keeping this close?
No, I'm laughing at how low confidence your voice sounds.
Yeah, I don't
right
have
now.
a lot of confidence right now.
That
was a hard game for me to pick.
It's not easy, dude. That's going to be a
hard
game.
one.
I think it's got a chance to be not quite Oregon, Iowa level, but like low scoring, ugly, good defenses.
I can see that.
Texas Tech's front seven is awesome. You know who I'm taking.
Yeah. Well, we know who you picked for the whole thing.
So Oklahoma or Alabama, we all had Alabama over Indiana or against Indiana. Who do you got?
I got Indiana.
Okay.
I think the lack of a run game will eventually bite them, if not tonight. I think Indiana's a great complete team. I'm not convinced we see the bye teams have an 0-for run the way we did last year.
Okay.
I'm going to take Indiana and Cignetti to win that game.
Swag?
I, too, will take Indiana and Cignetti. I think that defense will be all sorts of fired up, and they will cause Bama problems.
As an agent of chaos, I'm ready for my bracket to be busted tonight. I have Alabama beating Indiana.
The night over the
defensive lineman injury is just massive for them. They're not a super deep team, and they lost their best defensive lineman. That's a brutal blow. It's a strength of the team. I got Alabama winning that game. Ole Miss, Georgia. We all got Georgia?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Ohio State, Miami. We all got Ohio State?
Yes. I have Ohio State over A&M, but yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah, touche. Ohio State, A&M. And then it's Oregon or Indiana. For me, Oregon, Alabama. Who do we got?
I have Indiana beating Oregon. I think it's going to be an incredibly close game, a lot different than the last time they played at Autzen, and I actually took that consideration of the edge rusher being out for it. Devastating. I'm just leaning a little bit of what I saw from the last game, and I'm applying it to this one. I'm going to take Indiana and Cignetti field goal win against Oregon.
Okay, Swag?
Second time around for the Ducks, I think they will go to school on where they fell short, and they will be buttoned up, and I think it'll be Attic Sappington Attica Sappington.
Ooh, a
field goal.
Sappington game winner.
I think
Please don't let the game come down to a
it's
game.
much better that
He's been
that game.
clutch.
I know, but I still can't.
That's a
handle it.
Beaver helping you out.
I still can't handle
That'll
it.
be a true neutral site game down in Atlanta.
Oh yeah, more Indiana there.
I think
probably.
more Indiana actually.
They're closer and it's easier to get there, but it's not in Indianapolis at least.
No.
I got Oregon over Alabama. Take your 0-4 versus DeBoer shirts and shove them up where the sun doesn't shine.
I think that's why you did that.
Just so you can't make that
do
damn
the
shirt.
0-4.
Who's got to win against them now? Georgia, Ohio State. Who do we got quickly?
I got Georgia. You guys know me. I haven't believed in this Ohio State team to the point where they run through the playoff. They got I bullied a little bit. I thought Sayin did by Indiana in the title game. I know it was close, but I'm going to take Georgia. I like Georgia in that matchup.
Okay, Swag.
Ohio State. I just think that defense is.
You got an Oregon-Ohio State national title game.
I do.
I got a Georgia-Indiana title game.
I'm going to take Georgia to beat Ohio State. It's similar to the line of thinking there. They faced the real defense against Indiana. Struggled. I think Georgia can give them some problems. I love the way their defense is playing right now. So either Oregon-Indiana, Indiana versus Georgia, or Georgia versus Oregon.
I got Georgia. I got
You
Georgia,
got Georgia
and Kirby
title?
hoisting his third trophy.
Okay. Swag?
Unfortunately, I have Ohio State.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Who do you have?
Defense is
Who do you have? That's weird. Whoa! You wrote that?
Preseason. I mean, I can't put it into the ether. I'm not picking my team to win. I can't do that.
You pick it against your team? Yeah, that's good for the ether?
It's my preseason pick. I'm just sticking with my preseason pick. I'm the only one with a preseason pick still alive. I can't quit. I gotta quit on him now.
The
Right
funniest
there.
thing is if he comes in after that game and his hair is completely shaved. Beard's gone, hair's gone.
I'm going to be totally bald if they lose that game. Damn it! Lots to get to in the final hour. We'll start in the NFL next on the Fan.
1051 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, the Seattle Seahawks now control their own destiny for the number one seed in the NFC. They come back from down 30-14 in the fourth quarter. They convert 3 two-point conversions, one with the help of video assist replay, and they beat the Rams 38-37 in overtime. Blazers almost blew an 18-point lead in the second half to the Kings, but they got a favorable whistle with 2 seconds in overtime to give Denny Avdia 2 free throws to win at 134-133. Fifth-seeded Oregon Ducks start their college football playoff run Saturday afternoon at Autzen Stadium, hosting number 12 James Madison, 4:30 kick. You'll hear it right here on The Fan with live pregame coverage from Eugene beginning at noon. Oregon 21-point favorites. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Ducks.
Hey, let's do this. Final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM The Fan, 1080 AM. Live on the Odyssey app, YouTube as well, Fan Sports Network. Happy Football Friday, everybody. Well, the boss came in. He shot me down, said we can't play the audio. We got to bleep it out. A bunch of wet blankets in here is what I say.
I'd argue both of you guys actually are. You do it and then you apologize. You don't ask permission.
Something happened on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast last night that led to the team apologizing, and I thought, why would the team apologize about something that happened on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast? I found the audio, and it is every broadcaster's worst nightmare, but also hilarious at the same time.
Howard Stern taught us anything. It's just do it and apologize later.
Do you think that guy's going to get fired?
No, he shouldn't.
He shouldn't get fired for that, right?
First of all, he sent it to break. Like, whose fault is it that it wasn't cut?
It's not his fault that they didn't go to break.
Yeah.
Worst nightmare.
We have conversations all the time off the air during and after shows, and I throw the mic away from me, and I'm just like, if we ever have any of the language picked up by the mic and it's not my fault, I'm probably going to get fired, but that will be followed by litigation.
Litigation will happen.
Of like, yo, should I be fired? Whose fault was that?
I didn't turn my mic off, man. It's not my fault that I said something offensive. Damn it. We got a lot to get to in the final hour of radio. Get your fake sponsors in for Spraguing the Line at 503-864-6326. Your boys off to a hot start on the weekend. A no-doubter cover last night, plus 1.5.
I thought you dropped to 0-1. I was so happy for you. I'm like, no, not that way.
Look, the Rams owed me that one after the Eagles game earlier this year.
You're not wrong.
The Rams owed me one, and they gave it to me
Monday.
last night.
Yeah.
I did chuckle because I sent out a tweet, and I said, feels weird gambling against the Ducks tonight because Seattle was in their Oregon uniforms, which just, what are we doing?
That was ugly.
Mocked, by everybody in the sports community last night. Too much green. Your colors are blue. That's weird. But I sent out a tweet, feels weird gambling against Oregon. And then a Seahawk fan after the game sent me an L, just capital L. And I was like, actually, buddy, it was a W. The spread was 1.5, but I appreciate your effort. Congrats on your win. Let's go back to the NFL. Last night was crazy. We talked about it the entire first hour of the show. We got in a little bit into Green Bay in Chicago earlier last hour.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the rest of the slate on Sunday, I mentioned to our friend Dave Riggert of James Madison that Nick Saban said he doesn't want AAA teams playing in the World Series. We have a AAA division on the line tonight, or this weekend, potentially. Bucks and Panthers, same thing. Why are we allowing them in the playoffs? But one of them will make it. Tampa and Carolina. Are we excited for the first battle of the NFC South?
No. What's the next game you want to talk about?
Okay, moving on. Jacksonville is on the road in Denver.
Huge game for Jacksonville.
Massive game for them.
Not that Denver doesn't still have the number one overall seed to clinch. They got the division, and they got the 1 seed right there. This is big for them. Jacksonville being taken serious as a contender for everybody will all depend on how they play. And I still don't know if I'll be there, but I will have to reconsider a lot if they go into Denver and either pull out the win or lose on a last-second score by Bo Nix in the offense. Because Jacksonville, to me, they certainly had some really good wins. They won at San Francisco, but the way I can't get that Seahawk game out of my brain.
Yeah.
That
early
was
in the year.
That was, I know, but I can't get it out of my brain.
I don't blame you.
The Houston Texan game, the 19-point lead that they blew.
That was to Davis Mills, too. Wouldn't even see, not that Stroud's having a great year, but that was a Davis Mills game as well.
I'm just not a believer. I think it's a great year. I think Liam Cohen, he's making people feel good, and the Duval is aging really well for him in year one.
That it is.
I'm not a true believer in Jacksonville. I think they lead the league, or they're right there in the running for leading the league in creating turnovers defensively. That's a good thing to have, and also sometimes that stuff is fluky.
Sure.
So I don't know how legitimate I am taking Jacksonville despite the season that they've had and with their ability to potentially win that division.
Also, and they're a prime example of a team. I think this was on display last night in Seattle, right? Like if they don't get Shaheed, and we all said what at the deadline when that move went down.
We loved it.
God, that's a good deal for Seattle.
Shaheed's a good player.
He's been awesome. He's a Swiss Army knife. He returns the punts.
He's had a kickoff return, punt return.
And then yesterday, the news of another trade that went down, they were like, ooh, that's a good pickup. That's going to help that room a ton. 6 weeks after finalizing a deal to trade for him, the Jags gave a 3-year contract extension to Jacoby Myers yesterday for $60 million.
$20 million a year for that kind of production.
Boom.
He has been Trevor Lawrence's favorite target since he got there.
It's taking the pressure off Brian Thomas a little bit. They got more weapons now.
Well, I think
home run move.
I think if anything, for me, because I thought Jacoby Myers was a good player in New England, and then he goes to the Raiders and starts out okay, and then you're kind of like, why is the Raider offense not getting Jacoby Myers the ball? And there's a lot of Trey Turner and Ashton Genty runs right into the middle of the line.
It's because the Raiders suck.
Well, I know, and we've obviously realized that, but he goes to Jacksonville, and it's not that he just has been a good option for Lawrence, it's that he instantly became his number one target.
Yep.
And so, great business by the Jags to trade for him, bring him in, help that offense because they lost Hunter.
Hey, this is working. Let's keep him around.
Well, you know who's been in front of it? Brian Thomas Jr. And last weekend it was Travis Etienne.
Yes, it was.
So
very excited for that game. That spread, I believe, is ticked north.
It's 3.5.
I think you got a hook on it now.
Jacksonville at Denver 3.5.
Okay, so if you like the Jags to cover there, 3.5, interesting line. Denver coming off that big emotional high. To your point, like we talked about this on Thursday night, where the Rams winning, all of this is moot. Seattle winning, all of a sudden you're like, oh, all right, now we got a ball game here. Seattle controls their own destiny and San Francisco controls their own destiny. If Jacksonville is to go into Denver and win, and the Chargers somehow find a way
to win at Dallas,
in Dallas, they still have Houston in between, so good luck with that because that defensive line is dominant. That's a tough matchup for them, but it would open the door for the Chargers to somehow control their own destiny for winning the AFC West.
I think the South is a fascinating race this year, the way it started for Houston and where it's at for Houston, how it started for the Colts, where it's at for the Colts, and Jacksonville just humming along. I think you can make a real argument that the two biggest underrated games outside of what Seattle and the Rams were, and we know Green Bay and Chicago is going to be the biggest game for people, that Raven-Patriot game.
Let's get to that one next. That's next on my list.
And the Steeler-Lion game.
Yep.
The Lions have an opportunity here to put themselves, and yet the Steelers, in the most Steeler way, continue to just go right along and be over 500. And what are we to do with the Patriots if they drop back-to-back, lose at Baltimore, and it depends how Baltimore wins the game,
right,
and how they look doing it.
All of a sudden, you would have 8-7 Pittsburgh and 8-7 Baltimore if that transpires on Sunday night. That's a fun one to end the weekend. So we'll dive into that one next. A few more NFL thoughts. We'll get to Sprague the Line coming up at the bottom of the hour. Get your fake sponsors into the fan text line 503-864-6326. We'll wrap up the end of the show with some final thoughts on the college football playoff opening round, which begins tonight between Alabama and Oklahoma. We're back after this on 105.1 FM The Fan.
AM, The Fan.
Comment from a listener on YouTube. Big fan of the program.
Thank you.
A tree fell in our home yesterday, and listening to the show has retained at least some sense of normalcy in life, so I wanted to give you guys a thanks. First off, that sucks.
What a bummer.
Absolutely sucks. It's my biggest fear. Every time the wind's blowing, everybody has the same thought.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my God. If one of these things falls on my house, please don't hit me. Please don't hit my family. How much is this going to be a pain in the ass to deal with? So thinking about you and dealing with all that cleaning up, that's horrible, horrible news.
Also,
But glad to have you back on the program.
Point of clarification, glad the house, or at least you're doing okay.
Yes.
I talked about earlier, we briefly talked about the Blazers. We didn't get into it much. Shea didn't play any overtime.
Yeah, you asked the question, why wasn't Shaden playing in overtime?
Because he didn't play a second.
He did not play a second in overtime. One listener texted in and said he tweaked his calf in the fourth quarter. He leaned down and grabbed it on a play.
Okay.
And then Tiago Splitter said, I guess, after the game that he's still playing on a minutes restriction coming back from the injury.
Okay. Thank you. I legitimately was just curious why he didn't play.
Yeah, and one listener had a contention with me saying that's a horrible foul call. Look, you wear what other color glasses you want. I want the Blazers to win.
If that was against
If that's
us,
the way we lost the game, we would have burned the city down. That was one of the worst foul calls I've ever seen
You
in my
don't
life.
call that foul. Denny put the ball in his face.
Even Denny was like,
and then the ball got loose, which is when Russ hit his hand, and then he puts up that terrible shot attempt. And 2 seconds after the horn goes off, he blows the whistle.
I love Denny Avdia. He's having an unbelievable year. He's also the kind of guy, the more I watch him, I'm like, I probably wouldn't like this guy if he wasn't on my team.
Yeah, that was my takeaway yesterday. Is he's kind of our SGA,
The downhill attacking. How many free throws did he shoot
putting
last
his body
night?
in and
a little bit of that.
Yeah.
1 point before we get to the rest of the NFL slate or the other intriguing games. We still have to break down the Coug Bowl. Still waiting for your thoughts on the Coug Bowl. We'll get to it. Maybe we'll get Patrick Harris in here to talk about it.
Good God.
One point from Jordan. I think it's a valid one. So we mentioned Jacksonville. They're on the road at Denver. Big game for them, right? A lot on the line. Jags trying to prove to everybody, hey, we can do this. We promise. We're serious. Take us seriously. And his point of contention was, whenever we bring up the Jags, why don't they get credit for doing to the Chargers what they did to the Chargers? The Chargers are right now the top wildcard seed in the AFC.
Very fair point.
They went on the road to Jacksonville about a month ago, and Jacksonville won that game 35-6.
Stuffed
and
them in a locker.
It was a wider margin than that.
That's fair.
They completely dominated the game. Herbert didn't even finish it. Remember, he got hurt and then left. He had 81 total passing yards. I remember the troll comments on Herbert after that game. Everybody saying Dirt's an idiot. He's a terrible quarterback. His career's over. And they've all shut up over the last month. But to the point on Jacksonville, do they deserve credit for that win?
Well, I mean, yeah, that's a very fair thing to throw back. They've won 5 games in a row. It's not to suggest that they're not good, but
that was kind of the start of it. They were 5-4, I think, going into that game.
Yeah.
And that started their run.
It's more like it's the body of work. So that's a very fair game to throw back in response to us. I think we're all kind of waiting for the Chargers to lose to the Cowboys this weekend and go, yeah, Chargers are kind of that. Right? I think my team, the Niners, good record. They could lose to the Colts on Monday.
I mean, it's kind of held together with duct tape and smoke and mirrors.
I cannot, and look, for the Charger win in response to it, it's great, and it's the very fair rebuttal, but that blown 19-point fourth quarter lead to the Houston Texans and Davis Mills, can't get that out of my brain. Let's not also forget the comeback win to beat the Raiders.
Feisty.
That game is also on their resume.
Feisty Raiders.
What happened against the Rams? Absolutely bludgeoned.
They got killed by the Rams.
Seahawks score doesn't even indicate to me. You want to talk about dominance? I thought the Seahawks were in control that whole game.
Yeah.
So it's not that they're not good, and it's okay to say like, yo, what they did to the Chargers is okay to bring up. It's just, I don't know. And this weekend maybe can go a long way. I'm just not putting the Jags in any real contender conversation.
I think a lot of people are that way with different teams, right? You need a bit of a. You need more prove-it factors than you need for other teams.
How many playoff teams, today as it sits, and this can change, obviously, would you label you're not putting them in a contender category?
To win a Super Bowl? Not to win a playoff game, but to legitimately win a Super Bowl? If the playoffs were starting today, how many teams would I eliminate from Super Bowl contention? NFC South champion, so Tampa.
You just can't see them actually getting to the Super Bowl and winning it.
I can't do it.
Okay, so Tampa I agree with.
I'm there on Chicago. I think Chicago's a fun story. I think they're a good team. They're not bad. I probably poo-pooed them too much, but that's a whole different ballgame trying to win a Super Bowl. I'm out on them there.
Okay.
Philly, you know how I feel about their offense. I know that they beat the Raiders last week. I don't care. The Raiders are the worst team in the NFL. I'm not overreacting to that. Philly hasn't beaten anybody with a pulse in 2 months, essentially.
Okay.
And their offense is terrible. They're out of the running for me. Pittsburgh does not belong in this conversation in any way, shape, or form. And I think, Chargers can't do it with their offensive line. They just can't.
Are the Jags in it?
The Jags to me are in it. The way Trevor Lawrence is playing right now, I'm not eliminating from the conversation.
You have the Jags as a Super Bowl contender.
I do have the Jags as a Super Bowl contender. I do.
Wow.
I do.
Okay. I was with you until you said that. I'd also throw the Niners in there.
Sure. Yeah, there's just something about Shanahan and them I don't know. I know their defense
I don't think they have
enough.
If McCaffrey isn't having a good game, I don't know if I trust the offense enough.
Pearsall's banged up, and that's
Dude, he's banged up every other play. He limps after every catch. Great player, can't stay healthy.
He does.
Jennings is fine.
Do we trust the Niners' defense? I think is the biggest question.
I think you can run on the Niners. I quite literally watched the Jags do that. That's how the Jags won that game. It wasn't Lawrence just carving them up, all game. It was the run game got going. They got a good punt return. So I don't put the Niners in it. I don't put the Chargers in it. Steelers, no. Jags, no. Bucks, no. Or Panthers. I'll probably put the Bears. I agree with that. I don't know if I'm there on Philly, and I think you're fair to bring it up, but they are the defending Super Bowl champions, so you the champ, you the champ. No, Mo. And then after that, it's,
anybody's ball game at that point.
Lions in this, and they're not even
Well,
in the
that's the thing.
playoffs.
Let's get to the Lions, because the Lions are an interesting spot, because I think a lot of people still have the Lions of the last 2 years in their head, and I'm wondering, should we have that in our head at all? Like, I know that they were the 1 seed in the NFC last year. Dude, they got cooked by the Rams last weekend. Offensively, they were great in the first half and then gave up like 40 unanswered points. The Rams ran away from them. I know they had some late touchdowns to try and make it a one-possession game and all that. This is an 8-6 Lions team who is right back to where they were at the end of last year. Horrible defensively. Like, I'm not saying this weekend is necessarily in jeopardy. They still are in the mix for a playoff spot, even though they're out on the outside looking in right now. They need a little bit of help, obviously, in order to get there. I think my fork has been stuck in the Lions. I don't buy them. I think Goff has been bad at times this year in cold weather games. They're going to have to go on the road. I can't get that Philly game out of my head where he couldn't complete a pass when it was like 39 degrees, and their defense is just getting shredded. Again, I don't know if Pittsburgh can capitalize on that. I'd probably lean gambling the Steelers, to be honest with you.
That Philly game was ugly.
They got problems, man.
Yeah,
they got
do.
problems that don't seem like there's a quick fix on the horizon for them.
It's kind of crazy to go through this because I was just we were naming our teams that maybe were kind of in our minds eliminating out of being legit Super Bowl contenders, and that list might be too long, right? It might be one of those true years where a 6 and a 7 in both conferences go to the conference championship games.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of wild. So, we didn't put the Seahawks in either of our lists, right? It is kind of wild if you look through the list of the NFC and the AFC. How many quarterbacks have an opportunity this season to shape and fix and
narrative
change
changers,
the narrative?
Yeah, it's huge. There's so many openings for that.
Bo, Drake,
Herbert. It's never won a playoff game.
Lawrence, if you believe in the Jags. Allen to finally break through. CJ Stroud, Lamar, Darnold, Caleb. Maybe Jalen leads and becomes good in the playoffs.
Hell, what if Josh Allen wins back-to-back MVPs and wins a Super Bowl for the first time in his career?
Love, Goff, Purdy, you kind of go through it and it's just insane how many quarterback narratives can possibly be changed, whether we're right or not.
Sure.
It's just you got the Stafford. Allen winning, I don't think would shock people because of how great he's been in his career.
They've been knocking on the door for a long time.
And then after that, it's there's some good quarterbacks, but how many have you not believed in or thought could do it with the chance to do it?
And also, to the point on Super Bowl contention, I don't think anybody will be there, but what does a New England loss in Baltimore do for the narrative around the Patriots on
I think
Sunday night?
It takes people to the place of New England's been a great story.
Because all of a sudden, Buffalo's alive to win the AFC East if that happens. They would fall to 11-4.
I think New England's schedule's too easy.
Probably.
I think they have the Raiders.
They would both be 11-4. Where's the tiebreaker go? Division record?
I think people looked it up, and I think Pittsburgh, or New England, has
the tiebreaker. Bills close after this weekend. Cleveland on the road, then Eagles at home, and then the Jets at home.
Yeah, so right now in the division, the Patriots are 3-1, so that wouldn't be a divisional loss.
No, it would not.
So New England's got 2 more divisional games, and Buffalo only has 1. So
the
New
Jets.
England would still... Yeah, the Jets are, so they still have to, they can dictate their own terms to win the division.
Okay,
I just think it would take people to go, yeah, New England's a good story. They're a good team. It's not a bad thing to not win the Super Bowl, but you gotta eat a little bit of something in a playoff run before you just do it, unless you're a Patrick Mahomes Chief team. But even he lost to Brady and the Pats at home in an AFC title game.
Yes, he did.
Whereas, I don't know what people do with Baltimore if they win that game. because they might not win the division.
They might win the division. I'm still out on them just because they've been. I can't overreact to one game, and I guess in this analogy, they would have done it back-to-back weeks and beaten New England.
If the defense plays well, not zero, but if they play really well again,
and Lamar's running around and Henry gets going loose,
you're going to start to have to consider
such a weird team, man.
I know.
It's so hard to I almost shut my mind off to Baltimore, and now I don't want to. Is that window opening up again all of a sudden?
Well,
they
were 1-5.
They were terrible. And even when he came back, they barely beat the Jets. They barely beat the Browns. It wasn't pretty when Lamar came back.
No, but you got to remember that Bills game. You got to remember the Lion game, and that was 2 of their first 3. They were back and forth, and then the Bill game was crazy fourth quarter, and the Lions, to their credit, played exceptionally well, and the Ravens just shot themselves in the foot, and then the Chief game happens. He gets injured. They go to the 1-5.
Yeah. Can't wait. It's going to be fun.
I think it's going to be a great NFL weekend like it was last weekend.
Tomorrow night, you get a classic at Soldier Field in Chicago. Packers and Bears should be a lot of fun. Great slate. And then we wrap it up on Monday night with 49-year-old Phillip Rivers. Just kidding, 44.
I'm terrified of that game.
You're scared of that one. I'm contemplating Sprague in the line on that one again.
God bless you, buddy.
I might do it. Got to figure it out.
I lean Colts plus 5.5. That feels like a weird field goal game.
Look, when you're riding the heater of Rams plus 1.5, I got flames coming out of my fingers right now.
Costume, so
yeah.
Swag is basically giving up.
Can Swag get off the schneid? Let's do some gambling. Your fake sponsors are welcome. 503-864-6326. Let's make our picks, do some gambling next. First, here's us with a update.
This is Dirt and Sprague. First round week of the college football playoff is brought to you by Video Only. Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Langdon Farms Golf Club. Good or bad weather, the golf course always the driest around. Download the Langdon Farms app today. Get all the latest news and specials. First on the Fan. Yes, there is live sports going on during our show. We mentioned the Myrtle Beach Bowl. It is all Western Michigan Broncos, 34-0 with 2 minutes to go in the first half. The Broncos have rushed for 246 yards. They have only allowed a total of 91 yards to the Owls of Kennesaw State.
A follow-up to an animal story I gave you guys about 2 weeks ago. Do you remember the delightful little trashed panda from the liquor store?
Yeah.
I thought it was a raccoon.
Or trash panda.
That is a raccoon.
But yeah, a raccoon that was passed out on the bathroom floor. How about this follow-up? Hanover County Animal Protection and Shelter, who had to help remove the animal, they have designed merch with trashed panda on it, and it's the passed out raccoon with a booze bottle on the floor. You can buy a hoodie, a t-shirt, a long sleeve shirt, or a classic tee for $40+. It's really dope. I might buy a t-shirt. They've raised $252,000 for their shelter.
That's awesome.
By selling merch of the trashed panda.
Yes.
This happened and it blew my mind and it almost blew up on somebody. Did you see what happened at Royal Liverpool this week? Did you see this story, Mr. Golf in the Northwest?
Missed that.
Royal Liverpool hosted many a major championship over the years. Hoy Lake, hello. They were doing some course maintenance. I don't know if they're doing piping or, all that irrigation stuff. They were digging around the course. They found an unexploded artillery shell on the course.
Whoa.
Underneath the ground of it looked like it was right behind a green maybe. Wow. And so they had to bring in a controlled explosive. They came in and blew it up. Because they're like, this is an artillery shell. They dug down there. You can see the. I'm assuming it fell on the ground during World War II, and it just been. It didn't detonate for whatever reason. It's just been sitting underneath the ground. They built the golf course. I was there before World War II, but just hanging out, and they blew it up.
There you go. More bowl game, trashed panda, and golf course stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigert for the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan 1080 AM. The Fan.
Sprague in the line.
Sprague in the line.
Sprague in the line.
Sprague in the line.
The liners are so long, the words in the song start happening, damn it.
Jesus.
Here we go. Sprague in the line, brought to you by, let me scroll.
Brought to you by me.
Brought to you by Mark Davis. There's no questionable whistle coming to rescue you from a losing Sprague pick.
Oh,
boom, boom.
that was a double bell.
That was bad.
He should be suspended for a game.
Sprague in the line brought to you by Noah, building another boat. Yeah, hopefully you can make it into work today.
My daughter, my youngest, looks out the window last night before she goes to bed, and she goes, "Oh my, is this ever going to stop?" And I'm like, "No, I don't think it is."
Sprague in the line brought to you by Josh Hart. Regardless of the outcome, a Sprague pick is better than a thumb in your bum.
Right in the butt.
His tweet was pretty funny afterwards. He was like, "It was AI." No, it wasn't. Sprague in the line brought to you by being a salaried employee. Just to pay off my Sprague picks, I had to take a part-time hobby job during my main salaried career. Signed, Swigard.
That's good.
Sprague in the line brought to you by junkies stealing your car. Maybe the only people willing to take a Sprague pick.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they'd be interested. We got some advice for you. Sprague in the line brought to you by Marshawn Lynch. Being 80% censored pregame is still a better bet than a Sprague pick. I also found that interesting. Maybe this is a dumb thing to think.
They had to edit the whole broadcast with him.
Can you not cuss on Amazon Prime?
Yeah, why can't you?
Because it's not over cable television.
My guess is that's more NFL.
Oh, okay. Because I saw the Lynch stuff was hilarious. He was talking about all sorts
I'm
of
gonna
things.
guess that's more the NFL wanting it that way.
There was one moment he was giving an answer jokingly, and it was like legitimately 20 straight seconds of bleep. What the hell is he saying right now? Sprague Line brought to you by, first let's go to traffic and weather. Sprague Line brought to you by the baseball gods. Stealing your car for not watching your team in Game 7 because of soccer.
Ooh.
That's
again
come on.
not
Low blow.
my car.
Not his car.
Well, adjacent
car. Sprague Line brought to you by Sam Darnold versus the Rams. Still more trustworthy than a Sprague pick.
I'll say this.
How about Kirk Herbstreit calling him Sam Bradford? Did you guys catch that
I
last
caught
night?
it. And then somebody clearly in his ear, that's Darnold, Sam Darnold. Just that broadcast, man. It's so bad. I will not get over the punt return. I'm like, oh my God. And Michaels is just like, and it's a touchdown.
He's down the sideline. Shaheed.
It's a touchdown. Yeah, Al.
We know Al.
I know.
We know. And Sprague Line brought to you by the Portland Trail Blazers. Only Sprague wins more losses than the Blazers. That's pretty good. Well played. Here's how we did last week, gentlemen. Sprague 3-0 weekend.
Look at you.
The Bills down 21-0, come storming back and win and cover.
I had parlays, and I live bet that game.
That's a smart one to live bet that one. Texans kicked the crap out of the Cardinals, right? I forgot to write down the opponent. I think it was Cardinals. The Niners by the chair of the chin covered against the Titans 12.5.
Shouldn't have, but
Swigard, other end of the spectrum, 0-3 for you, my friend. The Bucks lost on Thursday. The Seahawks did not cover against the Colts, and the Lions did not cover against the Rams. And I had a 1-2 weekend. I lost on the Packers-Broncos bet. I took the Bengals, and they got shut out. And then I did hit on the Niners, barely. So season standings, not counting my win last night. Sprague's at 25-20. I am 19-25. Swag is now 15-30 after the 0-3
oh my God.
weekend.
What's the worst record somebody's had in
that?
We
were pretty. Swag and I were pretty bad.
I've had a bad year.
You were bad year one.
Yeah.
I don't think it was quite 15 games below 500 bad.
33%.
Dude, how many 0-3 weekends have you had during the year?
At least three,
At least
probably
three.
4.
And one of them was because he was on a guy's trip and he forgot to get his picks in. So, so even picking games are still 15-27.
Oh my God.
Sprague, T-Box is yours. Quickly,
I'll say this, man. It's a tough weekend for games.
It is.
The lines are really, really difficult. I'm just going to start with one. I think I'm going to get a get-right game, but I don't like the margin here. I'm just taking quarterback versus quarterback, and it's Joe Burrow getting blanked against Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe Quinn Ewers is good.
Where's that game? Is that in
It's in Miami.
In
so
Miami.
we have
it's
good
not-
weather.
Yeah, well, it'll be warm. I don't know if it'll be dry.
I mean, I'll take the
But
warm
it
weather.
won't be 7 degrees
yeah,
at
thank
kickoff.
you. HN, scary. I'll take
83 and sunny.
Oh,
I'll
there you
take
go.
Joe Burrow and the Bengals offense. Come back to me on this game because I might circle back on it. I'm going to take the Bengals minus the 4.5.
Okay, minus 4.5. Swag already had my first pick, so your first pick is up next.
It's the Swag Bowl. I'm going to take my Chargers with a 1.5 in Big D. Screw you, Shotty.
Is it plus 1.5?
It's plus 1.5.
You guys are underdogs, huh?
That is my first bet of the week, or second bet of the week, too. I hit on the Rams last night. I don't get it. The Cowboys shouldn't be favored over anybody.
No.
The Chargers, look, their offensive line is horrible.
Yeah.
Nobody. Don't. No. Stop it. Stop it. I almost gambled on the Cowboys last week. Almost did, but thankfully I was sick on Sunday and I forgot to put the bet in, and Niner went in there and just torched them. Dallas this season, I believe there's a scenario where they can know before the game kicks off that they're
out.
They're like they already are eliminated. I think it's if Philly wins tomorrow, right?
Something like
Philly wins, they clinch the division, so
they
it's
have to
done.
win out. Philly has to lose out. That's the only way they can get
Chargers
in by
defense is
winning the
playing
division.
really good right now. The offense is making enough plays despite
Hampton's
being
starting to
decimated.
get back into it.
You're giving me points. I'll take it. Give me Chargers plus 1.5.
I'm going to go to a team. I've kind of been riding this team, and it's been riding me with Big Wood. I'm taking the Texans at home against the Raiders. I know this is 14. That's 2 tutties. That feels like a push number.
It's in Houston, right?
The Raiders
It's
might
in
not
Houston.
get 14 yards in this game.
Well, who's quarterback? Is it Geno or Kenny Pickett?
I believe it's
probably
Kenny Pickett.
Still Pickett.
All right. This probably should be a Pete Carroll gets fired game, but I don't know what the Raiders are doing, so I'm still taking the Texans.
I'm on that game too. As far as the Big Wood
this week.
Yeah, just
I mean, the Raiders are
god.
They're being historically bad against the number, by the way.
Yes, they may not get
terrible.
100 yards of offense.
Yeah. Texans have the best defense in the NFL. I don't blame you guys at all. I'm going to gamble that game personally, but I will not spring the line on it so we don't go 3 for 3 on a game. So to my last pick, I am going to do it. I'm going to Monday Night Football. I'm not scared off by 4 throws of 12 yards on Sunday. Seattle was weird offensively. They've been weird offensively for a while. Niners were coming off a bye, and yeah, their defense wasn't perfect, but that's also against a quarterback who can throw it 20 yards in Cam Ward. Phillip Rivers can throw it 20 yards, and I think the biggest takeaway from that Niner game was, again, Tennessee's not very good. Their offense did seem to be in a good rhythm. Brock Purdy, I thought it was his best game. He was juking people 30 yards down the field and then apologizing afterwards in typical Brock Purdy fashion. They're going to win the game by a touchdown. The Colts won't score more than 14 points in this game. The Niners, I think, can get to 20. Give me the Niners minus 5.5.
I appreciate you taking that pick. I really do. He threw for 120 yards against the Seahawks, to be fair.
What was the longest pass that he threw air yards?
Maybe 8. Maybe 8.
Did he ever throw it past the sticks? On first down and 10.
No, I don't
Not
think
third
he
and
did.
2.
I don't think he did.
First and 10.
I don't think he did.
Okay.
I cannot believe I'm going to this game.
Do it.
Why do I love the Saints -6 against the Jets?
I was looking at that too.
Oh my God, Garrett
Saints
Wilson's
are riding the heater right now.
Shuck is playing really good
Tyler
right
Shuck
now.
wagon there.
Do I need to apologize to Tyler Shuck?
But also, should I apologize to the Jets by picking against them?
You do whatever you want to do, boo.
You're right.
You do you, boo.
I'll take the Patriots plus the 3.
Ooh, okay. Interesting. That was out of left field. Not so fast, my friend.
I don't feel good about it.
I did not see that coming.
I'll be honest with you. This could be an 0 for 3 weekend. I'm not giving you the most. Yeah, it's low confidence in college football, low confidence in Sprague line.
I would feel better about that hook. If I got the hook in New England, I'd like it a little bit better. But
I feel like at a minimum, it's a push.
Yeah.
But also, if Baltimore plays how they played last weekend, dude, I could be absolutely screwed.
Their lives are on the line.
Well, so are
New England's
England's
coming in a little limping, a little bleeding.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know.
Speaking of the hook,
Duval. You're doing it.
give me the Jags.
I'm not gambling against the Broncos again. They bit me last week, bastards.
They've bitten a lot of people this year.
Yeah. All right. Plus 3.5
Because
in
if the
Denver.
Broncos win that, they're going to have to come back because they'll be down in the third quarter, and they'll probably win it on a field goal.
How is the Texan Charger 7-point teases not going to hit?
Great question, Bob.
That'd be the Texans -7 and the Chargers plus 8.5.
There you go.
It's a great question.
They're going to get blown out
Is
by
that
the
a trap trap?
Cowboys.
Is that
Who
the
was the
trap
one that
trap?
we talked about last week?
Text Barkley. See what
Oh,
Yeah, text Ken.
can we get Monday?
Get Ken on Monday. Text him.
see what he's doing on
see if
Monday.
he's-
If he's
okay.
up for
Doing.
some holiday
He said
cheer.
Christmas.
He was sending out
Yeah.
some great tweets last night during Thursday Night Football.
God, Ken's delightful.
He's like, the rules analyst comes on. Even if it's not a backwards passing, it's still a fumble, and we all just nod our head in agreement. Like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
Well, I don't mind Terry McCauley, but like they all do the same thing, do they not? Nah, this is the right call.
I can't stand Terry McCauley. Screw Terry McCauley. I got beef with him.
Who do you like more, him or Dean Blandino?
I hate them all.
You don't like any of them?
My favorite tradition of ref versus broadcaster is Troy Aikman. Who's the ESPN guy?
Oh, I forget.
They hate each
Yeah,
other.
I know.
Aikman every game is like, you're a moron. Shut the hell up. You nerd. We play football over here.
It looks like it is.
Is it Matt something?
Russell Yerk?
I don't remember.
Does that sound right?
That does not sound right. Terry McCauley, I feel
No,
like
it's Russell Yerk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every time Oregon has had a call that has benefited them in a game, I feel like Terry McCauley has sent out a tweet saying it's the wrong call, and I'm like, dude.
There's an awful announcing article. Troy Aikman versus ESPN's
Oh my
rule
God.
analyst has become must-watch
It's the best.
television.
Every time they go to a review, the guy's like, well, actually, Troy, and he's like, would you shut up over there? Sprague and Line brought to you by changing the outcome of play long after the whistle to dead. Same thing Sprague wishes he could do every time he's ripping up another ticket. Wrap it up with some fun with audio and final thoughts next on The Fan. There you go. Fist pumping your way into the weekend every single Friday. We got a playoff weekend on our hands. Playoffs. We got NFL playoffs on the horizon weekend on our hands. Before we do any of that, though, let's ask, should this guy get fired? This happened yesterday. So the Philadelphia Flyers sent out an apology. I did not see what happened. I was not glued to the NHL last night, shockingly. I was watching Thursday Night Football.
You didn't do that hockey?
I did not do that hockey last night. And I thought, Flyers, what are they? What's going on here? I'm going to need you to play this back because I already logged out of my computer. This is the radio play-by-play man of the Philadelphia Flyers in the third period of the game last night, sending the broadcast to break should he get fired.
Sometimes the Flyers get a sense of urgency when they're playing from behind. Now they're going to take the TV timeout. We'll take it as well. 7 gone in the third. It's 3-2 Buffalo on the Philadelphia Flyers broadcast network.
Okay, nice toss. All right. Uh-oh. Why isn't a break playing? Uh-oh.
While you're down there, would you mind me?
I think we're still on the air, Tim. No, we're not, are we?
Oh, the awkward laugh. Ouch. He's been suspended for 2 games.
If he was supposed to be on
the
commercial.
word he said rhymed with a white substance that people snort.
It rhymed with it?
Or is. Yeah, it is. Not rhyme with it. It is a white.
It was a Johnny Depp movie.
It was a Johnny Depp movie. That's what he said.
I mean, look, if he's supposed to actually be on a commercial break, he should not be suspended.
I agree with you. But he has been suspended.
A producer, somebody needs to be suspended for a game.
Is this offensive to people?
No.
It should be, right? I mean,
do you want to talk about language we're hearing now just on an everyday basis from a lot of people?
Playoffs start tonight. I'm excited. Should be fun. Norman, Oklahoma.
If anything, it's going to build more credibility to him.
That's actually been the takeaway from the majority of Flyer fans that I've seen. Is like, this guy's a legend. I don't know who the in-arena gal is who's doing the MCing.
Well, hold on. Is it a gal?
I think you could hear the voice. I think it's a gal.
No, but I think he's talking to his downstairs.
No, I thought he was talking to the gal who was MCing things. But I don't know. I don't know that for certain.
I thought there was be like a sideline or an in-rink sideline.
No, because the in-arena MC person different than the radio sideline.
But that's who I think he was talking to in his headphones.
Oh,
and that's why he said that out loud. Unless it was to...
I don't know.
And then in that case, that's awkward. What does he do when he sees her?
Hey, Cindy.
I didn't mean it the way that it sounded. I meant it a different way. You know, like, ha-ha.
Be down at Otson tomorrow. Should be fun. Pregame starts at noon. Say hi, everybody, when you stop by. Hopefully you're there. Should be a blast. First ever college football game, college football playoff game at Otson Stadium tomorrow at 4:30 right here on The Fan. The playoffs begin tonight. We will recap all of it on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks so much for being a part of our Friday. If you missed the show, you know where to find it. Like the video on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel as well. Talk to you Monday at 6 a.m. The Firm Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 105.1 FM The Fan.